Fill her up.
You're listening to the Gas Digital Network.
Conceive, believe, achieve. Shut the f*** up.
And new undisputed UFC middleweight champion of the world, Michael the Count Bisping.
This is Believe You Me on the Gas Digital Network.
All right, guys, it is Monday morning. Welcome to the show, Believe You Me podcast with myself, Luis J. Gomez, Brian McKay, and Mike Harrington floating around in the background. Today, we got a couple of special guests coming on, Luis, but we'll save that. We won't burst the bubble. How are you, buddy? You well?
I'm good, man. I'm very good. I'm just hanging out here in New York City. You know, it's the turning of the weather is very, very nice. So it sort of puts you in a better mood. But there's nothing to do with the weather. It's a weird, you know what it feels like right now? Because things are starting to open up slowly but surely. It feels like it's like the last day of school and you're watching the clock and you're like, please just fucking end already. I need a vacation. I need a break. I need that fucking bell to ring or I'm going to lose my mind.
Well, it is the last day of school for Callum and Ellie. They have their last assignments to do, and then that's it. They're done for their ridiculously long break that they have. You know, it's funny you mention, pardon me. Funny you mention things opening back up and things making me sick as you move your camera around. Nicely done.
Sorry,
I know you're good, buddy. It's like, whoa, you're making me a little seasick, pal.
There we go.
No, I went down to Laguna Beach on Saturday. And because we heard the beaches were open, so we thought we'll go down there and we'll take a little cool box, and we brought a bottle of wine and we brought some like little snacks and a blanket. We thought we're going to sit on the beach, we'll have a nice little picnic and watch the sunset like a real dork, you know what I mean? A little romance with me, Rebecca and Lucas. But we get down there and we're walking along and the restaurants, they're open. And this good restaurant that we like called Mozambique, the rooftop is open, people are dining, they're getting service. I'm like,
how close are they?
Yeah, well, the 25% capacity, but I'm like, fuck the picnic. Let's actually go and get some service. And it felt so good. So we went up there. You had to have your mask on walking into the restaurant. You had to have a mask if you were addressing the waiter. But other than that, you could take it off. There was no one too close to us. But as I say, you forget how nice it is to just sit, excuse me again, and just have service, you know, and just like have a nice meal that the waiter brings to you and things like that. It did. It felt great. It felt very normal.
Yeah, I haven't had that. We were going to do that yesterday. It was sort of a last-minute decision. We were going to drive to Connecticut, which is 2 states away, so we could sit down and have a steak at like a steakhouse. But it was sort of a last-minute thing. I'm going to do that soon enough. I got some gigs coming up. I'm going to be in Indianapolis, and I'm going to be in Phoenix in June. So, soon enough, the return to normalcy to a certain degree. But how nice did it feel? What'd you eat? What'd you have?
Okay.
The first meal back.
First meal back. This is bad. This is bad because Mozambique is like a South African themed restaurant. I don't know what that means. They do. We went there for Rebecca's surprise birthday party years ago, and it was a nice place. But you know what? It's always weird, isn't it? When you go at night, anywhere looks upscale. You know, it's all dark and they got the lights. We went during the day and we were on the rooftop, to be fair. But when I went to the bathroom, it's a shithole. Yeah. It's a shithole. It's not a shithole, but it's not like I remember. It
actually looked like Mozambique. You're like, where are those lions?
Mozambique, like, you know, through a recession or a depression. But no, what did we get? So when we get up on the roof, basically there was a truck, a food truck, like, a semblance, if you will. There was 4 different food trucks. So you could only order from the food trucks. So I got a doner kebab. I got a kebab. Or as Americans call it, a gyro. A gyro? Euros? Euro. In England, we call it a doner kebab. Right? And I haven't had a doner kebab in years. You know, there's nice, fancy food, but I'm like, fuck that. You can take the lad out of Clitheroe, but you can't take the Clitheroe out of the lad. Give me a doner kebab. Give me some fries with bacon and cheese and all that shit on it. Diet went out the window, I'm not going to lie.
So that's what you had. See, not only did you eat terrible, you had a doner kebab, you had fries, but you also put the smartest animal alive. You sprinkled it on top.
Listen, that pig was slaughtered. It was cured. It had been hanging there. It is disrespecting the life of that pig by looking at it on the side. The least I can do is honor that pig by saying, okay, you may have died a tragic death. You may have been slaughtered in your prime, but your meat is still juicy. And that bacon is that if it wasn't to be eaten, Lewis, that's a travesty. That's like killing the pig and then slapping it in the face. So yeah, I put the bacon on with a bit of cheese and a bit of there was some green onions on there as well. And it was fucking delicious. But I don't eat pig. But I do occasionally stick a fork in. You know what I'm saying?
Once in a while.
Once in a while.
But like a couple times a year, you got to go back and make
lockdown is
sure.
restricted, I will eat a pig. Michael eats a pig through lockdown restriction. Bisping is what I'm known in certain circles.
A couple times a year, you got to go back and make sure that it's still not okay to eat that pig. You know, you're like, you come back, you're like, you know what? This is still not good.
Yeah. Anyway, that's a stupid conversation. Don't know how we got onto that. But as usual, we've got a great show lined up for us. Mixed martial arts, always something good to talk about. And there's a lot to talk about today. Conor McGregor has been stirring up quite a storm on Twitter. So much so that I had to actually get in on the action and respond to something. He's talking about the GOATs. We've got Mike Tyson. We touched on this last week, saying that he might be coming out of retirement. Now we've got potential opponents. What else have we got? We've got Woodley and Gilbert Burns. They're fighting this weekend. I'll be there in Las Vegas commentating that one. So we got a lot to talk about. Where do we want to start? What should be the starting point of this epic conversation?
Well, I mean, I think this Mike Tyson conversation is pretty interesting.
Yeah, well, let's do that because we got a guest calling in. In fact, we got 3 guests because we got Conor McGregor calling in a little bit. I think I don't know if he's actually going to do it. He sent me a message on Twitter. He's like, "You fucking prick! I'll call into your podcast." So we'll see. We'll see if he actually comes through with that.
I'd be honest with you, Michael. I don't believe that he has the testicular fortitude to get on this show, you know, and have it out with you mano a mano. I just don't believe that he would do it.
Listen, I feel like, you know, after our little tete-a-tete on Twitter, see, Brian Harrington, bring up the tweets, what he said. He was talking about who is the greatest of all time, et cetera, and going into that. Me personally, I don't really like the conversation of greatest of all time because it's just subjective. It's one's opinion, you know, and it's always going to change. It's a fun topic of conversation to have, though, but still, you know, here's Conor's tweets. The array of finishes across 2 divisions with champion status in 1, Anderson Silva. Silva is the number 1 MMA GOAT. My array of finishes across 3 divisions with champion status in 2, I'm number 2. That doesn't make sense. If not tied for number 1, that doesn't make sense. However, still active, number 1 is fully secured by career end and easily. Yeah, that doesn't make sense. GSP is in at 3. Much less array of finishes, but champion status in 2. What the fuck? He is far behind.
It's like a poem. It's like I can't really follow along.
Let's give it a try again. Let's start again. The array of finishes across 2 divisions with champion status in 1, Anderson Silva is number 1 MMA GOAT. Okay, I got that. That makes sense. My array of finishes across 3 divisions with champion status in 2, I'm number 2, if not tied for 1. Okay, I got to be honest. On the second read, it's making perfect sense. However, still active.
But I don't want to cut you off. But it almost sounds like an Irish limerick. If you think of like the beat, the array of finishes across divisions.
My array of finishes across 2 divisions with the champion status is 1. Anderson Silva is number 1. MMA go. My array of finishes across 3 divisions with champion status is 2. I'm number 2, if not tied for 1. Motherfucker, come on. However, still active, number 1 is fully secured by career end and easily. Lost me on that part. GSP is in at number 3. Still rhyming. Much less array of finishes, but champion status in number 2. He is far behind, though. Reasons equal. Left 170 pounds after much damage taken. Unquestionable decision. Never re-engaged 170 pound successes. Bottled the Anderson fight. Only moved when one-eye fighter presented. Played safe. I mean, come on. Jesus Christ. Offended?
Who's he talking about? Who's he talking about?
Who could he possibly be talking? Who in the world fought George St. Pierre with one eye? Let's go through the list. There's many people. So anyway, so I went on Twitter. I can't remember.
What did you say? By the way, I knew you told me because via text you said, "Oh, what did he say?" You saw it, and then you went back to Twitter. I haven't even seen your tweets yet because I wanted to wait to talk about it.
I honestly can't remember what I said. I'm not bothered, but like, he's referring to me there clearly. So like, I've got to respond. Oh, here it is. Well, this one-eyed fighter you speak of actually beat your number 1 in Anderson Silva, and he defended his belt. So your logic doesn't really add up. Anyway, Have a good day. #facts. And yeah, there you go. One-eyed, no eyes, one eye tied behind his back. No fight against Bisping is easy. Anyway, yeah, listen, I'm not interested in having beef with Conor. He's having a bit of fun. He's talking about goats. But he mentioned me there, and I feel, I'm allowed to back my own corner.
That, of course. I mean, him taking that shot, that's very deliberate. I mean, you look at the tweet, you edit it. By the way, with the amount of numbers he used, for a fact that's the exact amount of characters. So he had to go and edit it down, and he had to choose to keep in the one-eyed fighter comment. This is war. When he comes on today, we have to address this. This is fucking war.
Lewis, you're stirring the pot here, okay? I'm trying to keep things cordial. I even went back later on. Hold on, bring up the other tweet, Brian. I went back with a very cordial tweet. Because listen, at the end of the day, McGregor is very exciting. He's the fucking man. He's on the top of the MMA mountain. It's as simple as that. And, I'm a bit long in the tooth. I'm 41 years old. I'm not going to get bothered because somebody's on a tirade on Twitter and somebody says that. But I'm allowed to defend myself and defend myself vigorously. Yeah, I'll fucking do that, you little fucking punk bitch. I'm joking. He's a legend of the game. Oh, so somebody put, I'm Irish, so the notorious MMA will always be a legend, but you are one class act. And I put, he's a legend of the game for sure, not throwing any digs. Most exciting fighter in the game. Still, I read that and I had to respond. Listen, we have the same management company, so I'm not trying to start any beef with McGregor. More having a laugh, if I'm honest. I was just in the garage this morning, pounding shoulders and bicep and abs with Callum, and we just had a little laugh. Having a little fun on Twitter.
Yeah. I think that I'm not even going to hate on Conor. How do you not, let's take you out of it, take you aside. How do you not put Khabib in the conversation?
Oh, it's funny whenever it comes to the goals. Sorry to interrupt there, but you're right. Because we were talking about this recently, and I think we mentioned Anderson, we mentioned DC possibly, we mentioned John Jones, and we mentioned George St. Pierre. Khabib never got mentioned, and he should. He's 28-0. He's never been beaten.
He's the highest level undefeated fighter in mixed martial arts by far.
I don't know about that, because if you look at John Jones, and we know this, I don't want to get into this whole discussion we have it every time. I don't want to do this. I do not want to go down this rabbit hole of fucking greatest of all time. Fucking goat. He's the goat.
I'm just saying,
he's the goat, bro. He's the goat. Take your goats, go to a field and shag that goat, okay? Leave the goat conversation alone. And especially, I'll just say this. You don't inject yourself into the GOAT conversation. You let other people say that for you. You know what I mean? I'm just saying. I'm just throwing that out there. If you truly want to be a GOAT, the first thing we do about in GOAT Club is we don't talk about the GOAT Club.
Can I say in the GOAT conversation, since we can even edit this out of the podcast. This is just an aside for me and you, Bisping. We'll edit this part out. Just an aside. I don't think you can consider John Jones or Anderson Silva in the GOAT conversation when they were tested positive for PEDs. I think you're automatically, I think anything before you test positive should have an asterisk, any win. And then anything afterwards, I mean, both those guys, it's not like they set the world on fire afterwards. John Jones is still in his prime and still crushing it, but the level of competition right now that John Jones is facing isn't what he was facing before he got caught with PED.
What is this crazy mind trick you're doing to me, Lewis? I'm talking to you and you're just not listening to me. We had this conversation last week. You will forget about the greatest of all time conversation. No. Let it go. But Khabib never got a mention. And of course, Conor and Khabib don't like each other. That's probably going to be the next fight. But still, you shouldn't put yourself in the GOAT conversation. But
Khabib's manager said that, right? He said that he's looking at Conor for the next fight. Did I read that somewhere? Am I wrong?
No, I tell you what I did see. And of course, listen, Ali Abdelziz, is a big manager in mixed martial arts. And he's a fun character, which, a manager should be in the background. But Ali is funny. He's always getting into fights and talking shit on Twitter. And the story is that he runs Kamaru and Habib's Twitter account. I don't know if that's true, but Kamaru Usman came out with a rather explosive tweet earlier. Do we have that one, Brian? Because Usman came out and tweeted. He said, why? Can you bring up the tweet by any chance? He was talking about McGregor. McGregor obviously trying to get a fight at 170. I think McGregor should fight Diaz, Masvidal, or Usman. Forget about Diaz, really. Masvidal or Usman. Against Masvidal, that's probably the biggest fight that the company can put on. But here's Kamaru here. I really don't understand why you want this man dead. Talking of McGregor, I'd shag him in there if I wanted to, and he'd do nothing. Get the fuck out of here. Whoa. Rape.
Yeah. Wow. It's a new level.
Kamaru's threatening to rape Conor McGregor.
They didn't threaten to rape him. He said that if he wanted to, he could easily have his way with him. That's not threatening.
He insinuated rape.
No, he insinuated that he can make love to him in the center of the octagon. He insinuated that he can beat him up so badly that Conor would consent to it. That's how much.
I'll make you call me daddy. I'll make you love me. But
ask for it, Conor. Ask me to shag you in the center of the octagon. Conor has to tell him to do it.
Do you know what? To be honest, I'd actually like to see that fight. I know this is going to sound crazy, but I think Conor versus Usman would be a good fight. It really would. And you never know in this crazy world of mixed martial arts, that might be the next fight. You just never know, especially with Usman coming out there and tweeting things like that, because that's a heavy tweet. That's a big, very aggressive. I mean, that is shit talk taken to another level.
I don't think that. I don't think Conor wants any part of that fight. That's a stupid fight for Conor. But you know, in my opinion, I think you're right. The biggest fight the UFC can make right now is probably Masvidal versus Conor, but it's even debatable. I mean, Conor versus Nate 3 is massive, and it's hanging out there, and it sort of needs to happen at one point, just for whatever reasons. Like they went 1-on-1 against each other. That fight should happen. It's a massive, massive, massive payday. It's super exciting. Everyone would love the hype up to it. There's sort of not a better time for it, right? So I know Nate just lost one and Conor just won one, but I feel like right now they're sort of in a good position to fight each other because Masvidal should be getting a title shot. I mean, Masvidal Conor McGregor is a huge payday and a massive thing in itself, but I think if you're going to do Nate and Conor at any time, now's the time to do that fight.
Yeah, well, Diaz, I'm just looking for the tweet here. Nate Diaz came out this week. He's referring to himself as the GOAT as well. What is it? It's fucking these poor old goats. They're getting curried all over the place, slaughtered, lambs to the slaughter, goats to the slaughter. Diaz is now calling himself a GOAT. I saw it on Twitter yesterday. He had his shirt off. He was also glistening with huge pecs. He's definitely been on a rigorous strength and conditioning routine lately. But he had his shirt off. I can't remember what he said. If you can bring up the tweet, great. If not, who gives a fuck? But he's referring to himself as the GOAT as well. I'll say it again. I'll double down on this. Don't refer to yourself as the GOAT, right? I feel like you lose half a GOAT point for doing that. Okay, there he is. There's Diaz.
Pound for pound, the baddest motherfucker here. Fuck all y'all.
Pretty funny. Fair play, Diaz. Fair play. Diaz versus McGregor, that'd be good. To be honest, McGregor could go in there and fight an old moldy banana peel and it'd still do fucking ridiculous numbers. You know what I mean? It doesn't matter who the opponent is, but him versus Masvidal, who is hot shit right now, I think that'd be the biggest. Usman would be big simply because, it's that'd be a chance of winning a third title. That would be insane. If he could do that, like the guy, don't like the guy, respect the guy, don't respect the guy, winning 3 different weight classes, the belt in 3 weight classes, that would be ridiculous, So, let's see how it all plays out. What's going on in the chat here, Lewis?
Nothing. I don't know.
No, I'm just looking at the chat here from Harrington. Khabib said he's the greatest fighter in the history of Twitter. Oh, right, talking about Conor. He said Conor's the greatest fighter in the history of Twitter. Ali Abdelziz manager, Usman's manager, said that he will look to book Usman versus Conor if Masvidal has moved on from the fight. I can't imagine Masvidal's going to move on from that fight. What do you think?
Yeah, no. I mean, why would he? Why is he saying that? I mean, are they sort of holding up right now? Harrington, is there any news on that? Why is Masvidal versus Usman not happening? Why is there no date on the books for that? He needs to be unmuted, Brian.
Yeah. No, and we need to see Harrington. I want to see what Harrington looks like today. Harrington, don't let us down.
I don't think I am. So what I was trying to get at, when Nate Diaz put out that tweet that he was the pound for pound baddest, Jorge Masvidal responded, nope, he's one of one, meaning he's the only one who's ever won the BMF title. And then he proposed a rematch, which led Ali Abdelziz saying, look, if Masvidal is serious about moving on from this fight, I have every intention of offering Usman to Conor McGregor next.
Harrington, you look like Wimpy from the old Popeye cartoons. Can you pull up Wimpy, Brian? Just please, just for a second.
Who's Wimpy?
I will gladly pay you Tuesday for a hamburger today.
I mean, he has a personality of Wimpy as well. If you've ever hung out with Harrington, you need to pull up a picture of fucking Wimpy. He looks exactly like him. It's blowing my fucking mind right now.
I'm more concerned that the return of the blue fedora is back. Oh, that guy. There he is.
I will gladly pay you Tuesday. Look at him in the blue suit with the hat. Holy shit, Harrington.
Yeah.
Well, thanks for booking my Halloween costume.
Well, you look fantastic. You look stellar. At the end of the day, I think Ali, you as a manager, you always want the best fighters, right? And you always want them to earn as much money as possible because, number one, you want that for your fighters, and secondly, you get a trickle down from that. Managers are on a percentage, so I would assume that Ali would. And I shouldn't speak for somebody like this, but one would assume that you want to try and steer it towards the McGregor fight because that's going to be the biggest fight ever, or the biggest possible payday for Usman. I think, to be honest, though, Masvidal, after the year that he had last year and the star that he is now, that'd be a massive fight for Usman as well.
Conor touches any fight, it turns into fucking gold. It's going to be a multi-million, or at the very least over 1 million pay-per-view buys. That's the reality. And if you look at from Usman's perspective, that is a really, really winnable fight. An extremely winnable fight. I mean, the reality, I couldn't imagine, how could Conor McGregor, Usman's so much bigger than him, how could he keep him off him?
Oh, yeah, no, sorry. I was just texting somebody there. I was listening intently. Your conversation was riveting. I was just trying to get our guest on. He was messaging me back and forth on Twitter, and we're ramping up here. We're talking McGregor. I'm like, listen, McGregor, if you're going to jump on the conversation, then come on. Now is the time. He still hasn't read it. I don't think he's going to do it. I don't think he'll be here. Yeah. Do you know what? To be honest, I'll say this. I think Usman versus McGregor will be a lot closer than what people think. If you look at McGregor when he was at 170 against Cerrone, listen, all right, Cerrone been beaten a few times going into that fight, but nobody beat him that fast. Nobody beat him that fast. McGregor did pretty good. Just call it what you will. He did get tapped out, but he did do. Khabib had a hard time taking him down. Yes, he did get him down, and he did control him, and he ultimately got the submission. But he did have a tough time getting him down. And I don't know how Usman's and Khabib's grappling stack up against one another. They're both tremendous wrestlers. So there you go. And on the feet, I would lean towards McGregor, of course, for obvious reasons. That's what he does. I'd lean towards McGregor on the feet. So I think Usman versus McGregor would be a way more competitive fight, as I say, than people initially think.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right about that. I think McGregor it's a weird thing because when after that fight with Cowboy, you're like, holy shit, he looked like so good. He looked like a new McGregor. But once again, who knows? Even Cowboy said after that fight that it wasn't really him. He wasn't really in it. And I just don't know. I mean, dude, Usman, he's so big. I have no understanding. You know better than I know. When you look at Usman's wrestling for mixed martial arts versus Khabib's, I mean, I just feel like I think it's sort of inconsequential. It doesn't matter. I think Conor's getting taken down by either one of those guys and controlled. And the fact that Usman's that much bigger, I think would propose that many more problems.
It's funny because when I coached season 14 of The Ultimate Fighter against Jason Miller, Kamaru Usman was one of Miller's assistant coaches. Right? And he's had many different names over the years. As we know, Ben Askren used to call him, what do you call it, Marty? Refers to him as Marty all the time. And on The Ultimate Fighter, his name was Kush. We all called him Kush, right? And there was Jason Miller. There was a few of his assistant coaches. There was a boxing coach. Fuck, man, I feel bad. I'm forgetting the other coach. But anyway, there was Kamaru Usman. He was the wrestling coach, and then he was Kush. And me and Miller were always going back and forth. And then like the assistant coaches were always like giving it a bit of this in the background, a bit of eyeballing going on. And I could have sworn Usman took a sideways glance at me one day that I didn't appreciate. And I'm like, what the fuck are you going to do, Kush? What are you looking at? You know what I mean? He's great, though. He's awesome. And it just goes to show, doesn't it? There's a guy, you just see him as a wrestler. And now look at him. On top of the sport, champion of the world. We're all talking about him. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Anything is possible in this world.
Well, you sort of saw that happen a few times, right? So a famous one was Fabricio Verdum being Cro Cop's jiu-jitsu coach, right? That's when he sort of burst onto the scene. And then, he became champion of the world, Yeah, I mean, I'm trying. Who else can you name that sort of was in the background as a coach? There was DC. DC was on The Ultimate Fighter.
That's right.
Whose coach was he?
DC of Cain Velasquez, I think.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah. I mean, so that happens way more often than you think, and probably way more often than we can even name right now. Hey, Mike, let's take a quick second and thank Sheath, which is my favorite underwear in the world. I mean, Sheath, high quality, incredible styles. I look awesome in Sheath. I've never looked good in a pair of, I'm telling you, Bisping, don't look. I'll pull out my phone right now. I'll show you some pictures in my Sheath. I'll send them to you.
No,
it'll
thank
make you blush.
Listen, I don't need to be standing there talking to somebody, trying to show them pictures of my kids, going, here's a great one, here's a great one. Then I scroll to the left, and there's you looking like a bronze Adonis, shirtless, with your chest gleaming and glistening. But people's eyes aren't attracted to the gleaming chest that is so buff because you've been running 30 minutes every day and not being obnoxious on Instagram at all. No, they're looking at the package. They're looking at the trunks. They're looking at the Sheath underwear, because these things are amazing. And they do have the front pouch that keep your meat and two veg, your crown jewels. It stops them bobbing and weaving, stops them dangling about, stops them getting in the way. Inspired by a real life marsupial, the kangaroo. As we all know, the animal that was invented or known as having the best interior design mechanism for holding your stuff together. That's what kangaroos are known for.
Do you not know how kangaroos work? That's not what the pouch is for.
What is it for?
It's for the little Joey. It's for their baby.
That is fucked up. Okay, so you put your penis and the baby in the same pouch? I don't know if I can do business with this fucking brand anymore.
I'm going to tell you right now, Sheath, the pouch is very roomy. I keep James in my pouch sometimes, and I carry him around.
Yeah, listen, sometimes, you got your hands full, you've been to the store, you got your hand, you got things in this hand, you got your Ridge wallet in that hand. All of a sudden, where are you going to put your kid? Sticking down your pants. Fortunately, Sheath underwear, they can do it all. No, but seriously, Sheath underwear, they were invented by a soldier who was serving in Iraq. So as you can imagine, his balls tend to get very, very hot. He developed the Sheath prototype in Iraq and raised money for a Kickstarter and launched Sheath underwear. And now they're here supporting our show, and we really do appreciate it. The whole team over at Sheath, they're amazing people. They support a lot of MMA fighters, Tony Ferguson, Donald Cowboy Cerrone, amongst many, many others. And you will find a design and a fit that you're going to love. Trust me, I wear nothing but Sheath underwear these days. Bottom line, Sheath creates amazing underwear that you are going to love. And if you don't love them, they have a 100% money back guarantee off your first pair. Plus, they've also got an amazing line of underwear for women. You got to keep the ladies happy as well. I don't know what they're going to stick in the pouch, right? Maybe they'll put a kangaroo in. Maybe they'll use the pouch for what it was designed. But either way, please go to sheathunderwear.com, SHEATH, underwear.com, and use the code BELIEVE20. You'll get 20% off. And this is a big one. They ship anywhere in the world. So once more, that's sheathunderwear.com. Use the code BELIEVE20, 20% off the finest underwear you will ever own. Hold on, we just had a guest join us. Is that Conor McGregor?
Listen, buddy, what are you talking about? Usman Kamara, you little rat. What are you talking about? I'm out here trying to sort out the video to get in on here, and I can't fucking do that. Bisping, you're nothing but a rat. You're nothing but a fucking rat.
You fucking... Listen, mate, just watch your mouth. Listen, you've been on Twitter a lot recently, Conor. I mean, what are you doing? And you're on Twitter, you're insulting me, you're calling yourself the GOAT, you're making a lot of spelling mistakes. What is going on, my friend?
Listen, I called you the one-eyed fighter. I am very glad that you read that, and I'm at the top of my game. Yeah, I'm looking at moving up to that 185 pounds to slam my shin bone off your orbital bone, you little rat. You do nothing, you mouthy little fool. Now, one of you mouthy fools will do anything about that.
Hey, listen, Conor, very happy to have you on the show, but I can't let you talk to Michael Bisping on his own show this way.
Listen, I respect you. You're a very good man. You're a very good man. And I know you're an avid drinker of the proper 12 Irish whiskey. Okay, you're a very good man. So, listen, I've got no qualms with you. Just Bisping talking shite. He's nothing but a rat.
So, where are you right now, Conor? You at home in Dublin?
Listen, I'm not going to share that kind of information with you.
What is the problem with Bisping? It seems like you guys have been pretty cool for a while. You share the same management, same agent. Why all of a sudden, out of nowhere, are you taking shots at this man?
Listen, I offered him a little slice of my proper 12 Irish whiskey. Yeah? One time I said, try some of that, Michael. Try some of that. And he turned that down. So since then, I'm very, very displeased with him. I think he's a very average fighter. And if I moved up to 185 pounds, I could take him out. No problem.
Well, you'd have to move it to about 235 right now.
Listen, brother. Listen, I walk around that way, yeah? I fucking walk around that way. Don't worry about that, yeah?
So what do you make of the welterweight division right now, Conor? Obviously, we've got Masvidal and Usman. We've got Nate Diaz floating about. I mean, who are you looking to fight next, and what do you think of the division?
I am lining up that trilogy with Nate Diaz, but Masvidal can carry on mouthing off him in his fucking house coat. He's nothing but he's an overrated fighter. He's an overrated fighter. That's what I'm telling you. What he's asking was overrated. The little rat. You turn him sideways, you can't see him. If if a man sticks his tongue out, he looks like a zip.
I don't know what that means, but I like it. All right. Listen, as we all know, Brian, let's have a bit of camera action on our good friend here. Listen, we all know, isn't Conor, but fuck me. This is It's not. It's an Instagram. He's an actor. He's a sensation. He's one of the best impressionists going. I've been a fan of this guy for a long time on Instagram. It was actually my wife that got me onto him. She loves you, Scheiffer. It is Scheiffer Bates. Welcome to the show. Brian, can we get some video so we can see this man in all of his glory?
Yeah, I'm trying. It looks like it's on his side.
Scheiffer, you're there, mate. You're fucking there.
I am still here, Michael. I don't actually know what's going on.
Welcome to the show, buddy.
If you click on the bottom, you should see to include your camera. So it says it should say start video.
Yeah, it's saying it's failing to start, apparently.
Don't worry about it.
Technical issues.
Technical issues. Never mind.
You're Welsh, so I'm assuming the technology there isn't up to par.
Hey! you watch what you're saying, boy.
I called him earlier, Lewis, and he was out on a bike ride, and like the reception was terrible. He said, "Listen, I'm out in the sticks. I'll be back in civilization soon." I'm like, "Dude, you live in fucking Wales. Everything's out in the sticks. There is no civilization down there, Scheiffer."
I was riding on my horse and cart, mate. Don't worry about it.
Yeah, no, listen, mate. Thanks for joining us, pal. Really appreciate it. As I said, me and my wife, and I'm sure a lot of people, we've been a big fan of yours. How long you been doing the impressions, mate?
Oh, man. About 7 years now. Honestly, literally about 7 years. But I went off radar for a bit, got a bit sick of it. And now, now I'm back in the game, yeah.
Was it because of the virus? Everyone has to be locked down. Everyone's nothing to do. You just found yourself a lot of time sitting at home with a cell phone in your hand?
Oh, man. Do you know what? For me, this is ideal. It's no different for me. This is what I do anyway. Yeah. I like being indoors. I like doing nada. This is what I like. So it's absolutely no different for me whatsoever. I'm enjoying it.
Yeah, it's funny you say that because my wife says the same thing. I'm like, oh, this quarantine, this lockdown's kind of driving me crazy. She's like, what do you mean? This is perfect. She wants quarantine to never end because, we don't have to leave the house. She's not exactly a social butterfly. She likes to sit on the couch and drink wine, but don't we all? So, Scheiffer, you have a vast array of impressions that you do. And I'm sorry, because I'm sure, does it ever bother you when you go somewhere and people just want you to do impressions? Do you just want to say like, hey, I'm a person, I am Scheiffer Bates, talk to me? Does it ever bother you when people just want the impressions?
I mean, you're the kind of guy who would ask me, but I couldn't say no to you really, because...
No, but like if I'm down the pub with you, and I'm sure you're a great guy, and I'd love to hang out with you and have a few beers, but I would want you just doing impressions every 2 seconds.
Oh, mate, you get a few beers down me, and you'll get sick of it. Honestly, you'll get sick of it.
Right, and how'd you even figure out that you could do impressions? Because that's something like you almost like you can either do it or you can't. Like the people, it's not. I don't know, or can you work on it? Maybe talk to us about that a little bit because I can't do shit. Bisping's actually way better than you would agree. You guys should have an impression off on the show at one point.
Can you do a Michael Bisping, Scheiffer?
Mate, I've tried with you. It's like that. It's that nasally, like I can't do it whatsoever. But you've got that ultra nasally, like I can't even explain.
Conor's a great fighter, I think he's a great fighter,
but I can't fucking get you down, man. You've got a unique voice, and that's It's very special.
Well,
done.
it's a bit of a twatty accent these days, isn't it? Because, like, you know, I've been out here for a while. I've still got the Northwest lingo, but then I've got a slight American twang that kicks in here and there. Here's a big one that we love. We love the Gordon Ramsay. So come on, give us a bit of Ramsay, my friend.
Right. Listen, we were talking about McGregor earlier on. Okay. He is the most amazing fighter. Okay. Bags of talent. The most beautiful entertainer, but a seasoned fighter. Okay. But what I find amazing and both awkward, okay, about Conor is that I've had more defenses against critics than he's had title defenses. Fuck me, you know? Okay.
Lewis, are you familiar with Gordon Ramsay? Because that was fucking bang on.
That's incredible. Kitchen nightmares. How about we'll do Gordon Ramsay Bisping nightmares. Pretend Gordon Ramsay is now Bisping's life coach, and he's giving him advice what to do post-fight career, because it's been a little bit of a mess.
Okay, Michael, fuck me. I mean, wow. The CBT advertisements are fast and heavy, and I love it. It's beautiful. It's the most amazing thing I've ever seen. But we're looking at getting you back in the ring as a seasoned fighter in the octagon, I should say. Firstly, I'm going to ask you what everyone wants to know. Where's your fucking gym? When are you going to start? When are you going to go forward and do it? Come on, Michael, fuck me. Come on, what are you doing? You donkey.
Oh, God, we're going to get you on here regularly. What about Donald Trump? You got a little Donald Trump in there?
Listen, Michael, you're such a tremendously great fighter. Magically delicious. You're such a huge, tremendous fighter. You know, listen, what are your stats? You know, what's your record?
I don't know. 31-9?
Those are really bad ratings. They're really tremendously bad ratings.
It's MMA. It sounds bad if it's boxing, Mr. Trump, but like for MMA, you can understand there's a lot of ways to lose. He had a really long storied career, a lot of tough, close decisions.
Listen to me.
Way.
I admire the guy. He's a tremendous fighter, but I weigh over 300 pounds. I'm ready to get full top control on Bisping. The count. I'll really work you on the mat. You understand?
So let me ask you, Mr. President, are you still taking the hydroxychloroquine or whatever it's called?
Listen, ask China. Ask China. Ask China. Don't ask me, ask China. Next question, please. Fake news.
Yeah. Lewis, anything for the president?
Yeah, Mr. President, when is it going to be an end to all of this? We just want to be able to go out. We want to be able to party. When do you see the United States being able to fully open back up?
I would listen to me. Are you listening? I'm listening to me. Are you listening to me? I'm listening to me. We got to get out there. Okay. And we have to drink disinfectant, and only then can we go out and have a good time. And we'll release lockdown. It'll be tremendous. So good.
So good. So, Mr. President, I believe you watch Game of Thrones, and you're very familiar with some of the, perhaps, Jon Snow. You're good friends with Jon Snow. Is that him I hear in the background?
He's a very... Listen, I'll get John right now. I'll get John. John, listen. I don't want to talk. Come on, John. Listen, John. Michael. Listen to me. You're a bastard. Much like me. You're much like me, but different. Except I fled north and I stayed there. You went across the pond. You bastard.
Lewis, take over because I can't think here. I'm laughing my fucking head off.
I don't know. What was your first impression? That's what I want to know, Scheiffer. What was the first one that you learned, that you nailed?
Do you know what? My first one was probably... I'm a big fan of Andy Serkis, who plays Gollum in the Lord of the Rings and Hobbit movies. Obviously, he's known for everything else major he's doing in the acting world, but probably
Planet of the Apes, fucking incredible.
Oh man, the guy's a fucking genius, and I can't even say he's underrated because you can't rate him enough. Probably Gollum, because he explains how he done it. He just, he had a cat and he said it coughed up a herbal, and that was it. And all of a sudden, Lord Michael Bisping's Lord Precious.
As you can see, Scheiffer, I'm a bit of a sucker for a good impression. Yeah, so, are you out and about? Are you touring? Are you, doing shows and stuff like that? What are you up to?
No, so do you know what? Everyone hounds me all the time saying get into stand up, but it's not my. I'm a massive introvert, man. So I'm a voice actor by trade. I do commercials. I've done stuff with Seth Green on Robot Chicken, Nickelodeon, stuff like that. I mean, the end goal for me, mate, is in my mid-30s, maybe, if things keep going well, Disney, Pixar, if I could get a little role on there.
Don't do stand-up. Schaefer. It's going to get you into trouble. Just keep on doing what you're doing. You seem like you're on the straight and narrow right now. Get into the nightclubs, hanging out with people like myself and Michael Bisping. It's only going to bring you a lot of trouble in your life.
That's the thing. I'm from a family of very crass and abrasive people. Like my grandfather was a traveler, a gypsy, and so was my father. So we've always been taught to speak our minds, and that's how we've always grown up in a fighting family. That's how it is. So I've kind of steered away from that. I'm a bit more I'm a bit more level-headed. So you put me on stage, and there's no boundaries with what I'll say, because I think you can joke about anything.
Well, that's exactly what Lewis says. Kind of lives his life by that motto. Talking of travellers and the gypsies, so to speak, and I know what you're probably going to say no, because if you struggle doing me, then you'll probably struggle doing Tyson Fury as well.
I'm probably better at his dad, to be honest.
Oh, go on then. Give us his dad.
At the end of the day, I'm ready to fight Mike Tyson anytime, any place.
That's good.
Anywhere he wants to fight me, I'm down to fight. I'm a true fighting mum. Any mum's mum who wants to fight me.
I can't. Ever since Tyson's lost his, he had that clot in his throat or whatever it was. I can't do him anymore. I really can't.
What about, my mind went blank there. I was going to say, who was that? Oh, Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson right now is in the news. He's talking about coming out of retirement, talking about fighting Tito Ortiz, Vanderlei Silva. Who fucking knows who it's going to be? But can you do a Mike Tyson? Because that's going to be a classic.
You do a Mike Tyson before I do it.
I can't do it. I can't do a Mike Tyson to save my life.
Shout out Al Foran, who's an incredible Mike Tyson impressionist, and Conor McGregor. But man, Mike Tyson, man, like, I don't know if I...
It's not bad. It's pretty good. It's on the way.
Do you know, like, when you hear somebody's voice, you're like, oh, I'm going to be able to do that person? Or is it like you don't even know until you try? Because it sounds like you've never even tried Mike Tyson there. You're like, well, let's give it a go.
Yeah, no, I haven't. It's honestly, I try and pick up nuances. If someone's impressionable, I'll jump on it. I'll go for it. At the end of the day, it's a form of acting. You've got to run away with them and sit and practice the voice over and over again, which is bizarre to some people. But sometimes I can put something out and people go, yeah, that's shit hot. And other times they're gonna fucking sucks, and that's just how it is. It's like doing stand up and your material goes down, or it either. Yeah.
It's fascinating because, as you say, you got to sit there and work it. Because I've tried fucking around doing a couple of impressions, and I do the same thing, and I sit there. And I can't do any. I'm just saying, I've tried though. I've tried, and they fucking suck.
Your GSP is great. Your GSP is great.
Yeah, but anybody can do it. Joe say, "Are you intoxicated?" Anybody can talk like this. It's not fucking hard.
No, it's not hard. I tell you what, I want to hear you do, Mike. Is I'll never forget. Is Yoel Romero?
Mike, I love you, man. I love you, but I love you.
Yeah, but again, that's easy. You just gotta. I don't know. It's all like Yoel Romero, I guess.
It's like the voice is one thing, right? So doing the voice is one part of it, but then the other part of it is being able to improvise and being able to sort of like, think of the words that they're going to say that are sort of funniest, and then it's also sort of like, because I have my friend Dan Soder is an incredible impressionist, and he's a stand-up comic as well. Kyle Dunnigan. I don't know if you've ever seen his Instagram. It's one of the dude. It's so good, and it's very unique the way they do it. So I think it's a weird balance because you'll see in this day and age, people are like, "Oh, you do impressions," and they almost like kind of smirk, like, "Really?" But if you're really good and unique, it is like so impressive.
No, 100%. I think it is. I think when you introduce it to stand-up, sometimes it can be quite cheesy if the material's strange. But in terms of a sketch format on Instagram, I mean, the world's your oyster now with social media. It's an open platform. It's an online portfolio. So, you do what you wish with it and run with it. But I do try and keep things pop culture. If there's any, new TV shows out or anything like that, I try and jump on it. So over here, Peaky Blinders is massive. I'll try and jump on that, stuff like that. Game of Thrones.
Give us a bit of, is it Thomas Shelby? And by the way, everybody, you mentioned your Instagram there. Everyone go and give him a follow, because if you wake up in the morning, you're having your morning coffee and you want a smile on your face, your Instagram page does it every time, Scheiffer. So it's Scheiffer Bates, SCHEIFFER, Scheiffer Bates, BATES. I'm looking at a picture of you doing Ozzy Osbourne right now. Can you do an Ozzy impression?
Listen, I mean, that was a long time ago, I haven't fucking done that in a long time. I'm the Prince of fucking Darkness, mate. I haven't done that in a while, so cheers for...
putting you on the spot and making a cunt out of you. Go on, give us a bit of Thomas Shelby.
Cillian Murphy.
Yeah.
Oh, listen, right. Every man, every child, and every person who's ever watched the UFC knows that Bisping is the greatest fighter of our generation, right? That's it.
Listen, here's the thing. You got to understand, Lewis, to be honest, your face there was totally blank. You've never watched an episode of Peaky Blinders in your life.
No. I watch American television because
yeah,
substantially better. Substantially better. What they'll do is in a few years they're going to make Peaky Blinders, produced by Brad Pitt, starring whoever, some badass American, and then we will all watch it. They'll make it better.
Yeah, they'll make
like
a shitty version, just like they
times.
did with The Office. They made the shitty American version.
Bang
Just like
on.
they did with Shameless. They made a shitty American version. But the English versions, that's where it's at, buddy. Or the Welsh version, the British version.
Yeah, that's true. I think you bang on as well with the UK office. I think the UK office. I think Ricky Gervais, he gave birth to the US offices. I can't get in. I love American humor. Don't get me wrong. I love deadpan mockumentary style humor. Is fucking brilliant. But I do prefer things like UK office and extras, stuff like that.
Yeah. By the way, not talking shit about the American Office, because what's his name? Steve Carell. He's fucking
Carell's a
awesome in
man.
that. Yeah,
Oh,
no, it's
yeah.
fantastic. It's
Whoa.
fantastic. Oh, fucking hell.
Risky, baby!
There he is.
Fucking jeez!
That's more like it. Now we're going to face the name. We're just looking at a rather peculiar picture of you like molesting a dog or something there, mate.
Out of nowhere.
So where do you live? You live in Wales. Whereabouts? Because my brother lives in Wales, but don't ask me where because I got no idea.
So I live in Cardiff. I did live in London for 2 years. I got sick of it. There's fucking hipsters everywhere. Am I allowed to swear?
Yeah, mate. Fucking hell. Jesus Christ, of course. Yeah. I wish I did it. I'm always trying to not swear. You know what I mean? Always trying to swear less, but unfortunately,
That's
I
like
fail miserably.
It's like telling you not to breathe. No, it's I lived in London for like 2 years, and then I got sick of it, and then moved to Cardiff, and then I'm looking at coming out to LA now when this is over for a couple of months. I got some friends out there, so just
Isn't it kind of crazy though? Like this whole thing has sort of made it so you can live anywhere and still do, like, you have 90,000 Instagram followers, which is pretty fucking impressive. The fact that you're a voice actor living in Wales, you're incredibly talented, obviously, but the internet has brought everyone together. You know, literally 15 years ago, that's impossible. You would not have, it would be nearly impossible for you to have that type of following, living where you live, doing what you do, working the way you want to work. You'd have to go to certain places. You'd have to be in London. At the very least, you'd have to be in London, if not New York or LA or wherever else. So the internet has sort of brought us together. And then even this virus has sort of let people know, like, oh shit, you can audition on Zoom. You can go, you don't actually, Bisping, think about this. How many auditions are you going to not have to drive to now once everything opens back up? Because they're going to go, why would make people spend 4 hours?
Self-tapes, baby. I've been doing self-tapes forever. Because here's what you do. You go in to do an audition. You do a shit audition. You do it at home. I stand there with my wife. I run the fucking lines. I do it perfect. I throw the sides away. I don't need to look at the script. I've got it fucking nailed. I walk into the audition room and my fucking mind goes blank. And I'm like,
start to sweat. You're
I'm like,
"Oh,
I'm like, can I start again? Can I start again? I'm like, why am I talking in this weird accent? What am I doing? It's all fucking out the window. But with the self-tape, 500 takes, and they're all the same. And I'm like, no, it's a little bit better. Just do that when I get. My wife's like, Michael, we've been doing this for 2 hours. They all sound the same. I'm like, no. But then you got to go through all the tapes. You got to fucking dissect which is the good one, the bad one, and then send it off. So you're right, Lewis. And fuck the virus. I'm way ahead on the pre-tapes.
So you're planning on moving out to LA in a little bit? Have you been before?
No, I did. You know, I've never been. I've only ever been down the East Coast. I've been to New York probably 7 or 8 times, Boston 3 or 4 times, Chicago a couple of times. Like, I love New York. It's my favorite place ever. I absolutely love it. I love the American people as well. Never been on the West Coast though. I got loads of friends there. I've never thought of going out there because, as you said, I've never had to. So when I did Robot Chicken, I did through an ISDN line down the bay in Cardiff. I never had to sort of travel to go anywhere. It wasn't like you needed to be here or there. So, but I'm at this point now where I'm like, I'm 28. I want to kind of go places, if I'm going to do things, and throw myself in the deep end a bit more, because you know, at one point I was doing that, and then, you know, sort of dipped off the radar, and it catches up with you, man. If you have a couple of months where you just don't do any material or don't put the effort in, you will fall off the horse, and it can be difficult to get back on it. I mean, thankfully I got to go on Jimmy Kimmel, which launched things back up again. But even after that, after a few months, I kind of dipped. And
What'd you do on Jimmy Kimmel?
They got me to come on with Kit Harington, who plays Jon Snow in Game of Thrones, and just basically sort of take the piss out of him.
That wasn't that when Jon Snow goes to dinner thing, was it? Did you see that?
No, that was good. That was Seth.
That was fantastic.
Seth Green, yeah, man. But no, Jimmy just got me on to sort of just impersonate him, and there was another guy.
Because you look
there.
like him a little bit. I could see. Yeah, you have the
Thank you very much. I appreciate that. Thank you very much. No, so I got to go on there, and do you know what pissed me off? And I've never said this on a platform, and this is a great platform to say it on. So it was me and another guy called Steve Love on it with Jimmy Kimmel, and Steve's a great guy. He's a Canadian stand-up comic. He's incredible, and so he did Jon Snow. I did Jon Snow. Kit loved my Jon Snow, loved his Jon Snow. And then he was allowed to do more voices to kind of show off the Jimmy Kimmel audience. I thought, oh, okay, fair enough. Oh, well. And after the show, I had emails and emails after Jimmy's production team going, that was fucking incredible. You nailed it. Kit was like blown away, and, you know, absolutely blown away. The other kid, he got to have a 5-minute part in Game of Thrones season 5. And I got a Jimmy Kimmel hat and a mug. So
motherfucker. Why do you think that was? Why do you think they went with him and not you?
So I think he was in correspondence with a show months ago. So it's like nepotism in it. And when you're networking and you know people, and it's fair enough.
He did. You know what it is? You got to look at it as he did. You look at that opportunity and go, fuck, what did he do that I should have done?
He kissed
and it was,
ass.
Suck the producer's dicks.
You got to suck the right dick in this life.
Yeah.
Listen, it's true. You got to network. You got to do all that thing. You got to sometimes, because it's a fine line, right? You don't want to be bothersome. You know, but you want to stay in contact. It's like, so I do it like I'm trying to, you know, I've got a couple of movies bubbling over at the moment, but like I'm now and again sporadically I hit up the director, you know, as like friends, buddies. But the whole context of the message is that, hey, remember me? We're still doing that movie, correct? I'm still in that part. But you can't come out and say that. But you got to keep the fires burning. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, man, 100%. We've got there's especially with pilots as well. When you film like a taster and all these commissioners, these TV shows and Netflix have gone, oh, we quite like that. And then this pandemic hit, and I filmed a taster a couple of months ago. It's the same now. I'm sort of reaching out and emailing them, going, so how you doing? What have you been up to? So what do you mean? What have I fucking been up to? It's a pandemic. What have you fucking nothing? I've done nothing. So
What is the situation in Wales, Scheiffer? How are things down there?
So obviously everything's sort of it's like dissolved nations now, and so Scotland have got their own rules. We've got our own rules. Ireland have got their own rules. We're not allowed to leave. But obviously you had all that controversy today in the UK where there's like one of the lead MPs, Cumgate. He's been out doing his own thing. So I went out today, everyone was just like, fuck this. Why not? If he's doing it, why not? So it's a bit hectic at the moment. It's like a very passive revolution, I guess. It's fucking strange.
Well, listen, Scheiffer, we got a lot of shit to talk about, so we thank you so much for joining us. Oh, right. Lewis has got something for you. Lewis, don't make me look bad like that. I was saying bye, and now you're like, no, fuck that. Ignore Mike. We want Scheiffer on the whole show.
Question. It's not even a question as much as like, because I'm looking at this Jimmy Kimmel thing, and they have the two other guys, and then neither of them are from the UK. It's a Canadian guy and it's an American guy, and that means that, I mean, they had to pay so much more money to fly them over to film the show than they would have had to pay you. Just know that it would have been way easier to bring you.
Can someone make sure they clip that?
What are we drinking now, Scheiffer?
No, I don't drink that shit.
Your words, not mine.
It's all right. You emailed me before the show and said I'm joking. It's rum and
you prick.
Just white rum and fucking agave nectar, I think. So, yeah.
All right. Let's. What can we do to finish off with? Can you give us What's the most amount of impressions, different impressions you can do back to back to back to back to back?
Oh, mate, do you know what? If I had the list in front of me, I could. But it's like, I think I've done a video with 100.
Yeah, no, that's why I asked, because I saw something where you were doing a few, like, I don't know.
I think I did 150 uncut. I think.
Hell. Well, we haven't got all day, so fucking hell. Just 5 or 10 will do. 150 is a bit. Jesus, steady on, buddy, steady on.
I can't. Honestly, it's literally like I'd have to pull a list up and going, fuck, how did you see Jason Statham? It's a boxing match, Tommy. Not a tickling competition. What'd you say about those sausages? You said that half an hour ago.
What about brick top? You got a brick top?
Oh, do you know what I can't do? I tell you what I can do. I haven't done in a while is Christopher Walken, who's one of the... Listen, the thing about Chris Walken is people, when they do his voice, they try and go like this, and he doesn't talk like that. He growls. It was like a lion in the pride. Fuck the cops.
Do you still have that watch up your ass?
The watch has been stuck up my ass for 20 years. I handed it down to your father. And I can take it back and do a little bit of Fugazi, a little Matthew McConaughey, rip and roll. It's like driving a Lincoln. With
any other fighters?
Any fighters? You know what? I need to work on that. I think when I watch fighting, I watch fighters to clatter each other. The only person I've ever probably done is McGregor. Do you know what, Bisping? I did you in a video once. And,
go on.
No, I did it earlier on. It sucked. I'm not doing it again.
Never mind.
No, I did it in a video, and people, I'll have to dig it out and send it you. But people,
send it me, please. Well, listen, Scheiffer, this is fucking awesome. We would love to have you on again. When you come out to LA, you got my number now. Keep in touch, mate. Keep in touch. Hit me up. We'll take you out. We'll show you the ropes. We'll have some fun. But we'll have to say farewell on that note, my friend. But thank you so much, Scheiffer. You are the man. As I say, everyone give him a follow. Scheiffer Bates on Instagram. Anything you want to say?
Listen,
parting words.
Thank you very much, Scheiffer. You're the man.
Thank you very much for having me on, Bisping. It's an absolute honor to be sharing this platform with you in this little meeting. So thank you very much for having me on your podcast, man. I got goosebumps.
Yeah, no, not at all. Massive fans here, mate. Once again, have a great day or great night. Enjoy the booze, and we'll talk to you soon.
All right. See you later, guys. All the best.
Cheers, Scheiffer. See you, buddy. All the best, mate.
See you later.
Cheers.
Very funny. Very
told
funny,
you.
Scheiffer Bates.
Told you, man. The fucking Conor McGregor is hilarious, because I was just sitting there at home. And as I say, most days, he pops up on Instagram and, I have a good laugh. And then it just fucking occurred to me. No, I think he sent me a message, just like a laughing emoji or something, an Instagram a story or something. I'm like, hold on a minute. He does an amazing Conor McGregor. Let's get him on the show and have a bit of fun. So there you go.
That's great.
We had Donald Trump. We had Gordon Ramsay. We had Jon Snow, Conor McGregor, Christopher Walken. I mean, what other podcast in the world could lay claim to such amazing guests? Firing the Kid. They ever had fucking Christopher Walken on?
Who have they had?
They had nobody.
Come on.
Nobody.
Hey, Mike, let's take a quick second and thank one of our incredible sponsors, which is the Ridge Wallet, ridge.com. I love the Ridge Wallet. It really is. We've talked about it for a really long time now. It's the coolest wallet you're ever going to own. It's a front pocket wallet. It's minimalist. It's slick. It's stylish. They have 12 different styles. If you go on the website and just check out the wallet itself, just take the moment. Even if you don't want to go buy it, go look at it. Father's Day is coming up. I'm telling you right now, you're going to be very tempted to buy this for your father, your brother, your cousin, whoever it is. This is the coolest wallet you will ever have in your entire life.
Oh, listen, it's certainly a very, very good wallet. It's a fantastic wallet. But listen, beauty is in the eye of the beholder, Lewis. So we can't say the coolest wallet. In my opinion, the coolest wallet. And I'll guarantee this.
My opinion as well, by the way.
Pardon me?
My opinion as well. 100% of the people on this show think it's the coolest wallet. So.
Our collective opinion as a show, as BYM, the Believe You Me podcast, we believe that this is the greatest wallet you'll ever find. Also, that is backed up by an unprecedented, and that word unprecedented is being used an unprecedented amount of times lately throughout this virus. But still, it has an unprecedented 30,000 5-star reviews. Do you know, break that down. 30,000 people went out, they parted ways with their money, which, by the way, value for money. They parted ways with the cash, they bought a wallet, and they were like, oh my God, this wallet that I parted ways with my hard-earned cash for is so good that I'm going to go online and leave a 5-star review.
Nobody does that.
Yeah, it didn't happen once. Didn't happen twice. It happened 30 times.
Well, think about
that
this.
Doesn't scream quality in the best wallet ever. I don't know what does, Lewis.
To be a little bit introspective, fans of the show. Take a moment, believers. Just think about yourself. When's the last time you went onto a website and left a 5-star review?
Never.
It is rare. Very rare. You would have to be so moved by a product. A product would have to be so incredible that it would have to make you go to your computer, pick up your phone, go to some website, go and leave a 5-star review. It doesn't happen. That means that who knows how many people are in love with their Ridge wallet.
It's insane. It's a crazy amount of people, but I will say this. If you go and leave a 5-star review online for the wallet and you don't leave a 5-star review for the podcast, then fuck you and fuck your wallet, okay? That's all I'm saying. That's all I'm saying, baby boy. But seriously, back to the wallet. As we said, this is a minimal front pocket wallet that's designed to streamline what you carry. Basically, you're not going to accumulate all that garbage that you don't need. If you've watched the show, you've heard us talk about this a million times, so please check it out. You will not regret it. It's fantastic. So, Lewis, tell them about the offer, my friend.
Here's the thing. The Ridge wallet, they could charge 2, 3, 4, 5 times as much as they're charging. Honestly, especially after a read like that. Holy shit. This wallet must cost thousands of dollars. But no, not only is it already affordable, but we're going to give the fans of this show a pretty incredible discount because all you got to do is go to ridge.com/BYM. And when you check out, use the code BYM for Believe You Me. You're going to save 10% off your entire order. Take that 10%, put it back into your Ridge wallet. Holy shit, baby boy.
Practically giving it away. I don't know how these people stay in business, but there you go. Ridge.com/BYM. Use the code BYM. All right. Anyway.
So let's, real quick, let's talk. We got to talk about this Mike Tyson possible comeback story. It seems like there's some actual heat behind this. This isn't, whatever. You've said this a million times. We've all said this. Where there's smoke, there's fire. And there's a few sources saying that they're making real credible offers to Mike Tyson. Where do you want to go? Tito Ortiz is talking about it. They're talking about Vanderlei Silva and bare knuckles. What do you think?
Yeah, well, Tito Ortiz came out, and I don't want to go against what Tito's saying, but Tito said, he spoke. He said Mike Tyson's people called him, and they discussed it. He said, I think this was a TMZ article that I'm quoting. Pardon me, I need to burp. Pardon me. Yeah, I think it's a TMZ article that I'm quoting here. I could be mistaken there, but I'm pretty sure it was TMZ. And he said, yeah, Tyson's people reached out to me. I don't know if it's going to be MMA. I don't know if it's going to be boxing, which I got to say, I find that straight away, I'm a little intrigued by that because that would be the first question that you asked. Oh, you want me to talk about, you want me to fight Mike Tyson?
3 times.
What kind of fucking fight is it going to be? That would be the first question that you ask.
Maybe on the second phone call? What do you think?
Harrington says, Tito says that Tyson's management team has reached out to him multiple times about setting up his comeback fight. Well, multiple times. I mean, that's good. Good for Tito. Tito said, I reckon we could double the numbers of McGregor versus Mayweather. I'm not sure about that. I mean, but listen, you got to think positive. Good for him.
That's psychotic. Okay, so he says he can double McGregor. The McGregor pay-per-view, the McGregor Mayweather pay-per-view did like 4.5 million buys. Tito Ortiz versus, who was his last fight against?
Chuck Liddell.
Yeah, Chuck Liddell did 30,000 pay-per-view buys. So, I mean,
and
what
I think
are we talking
Tyson's
about here?
last fight, and no disrespect to Mike Tyson, we're going to talk about GOATs. He's fucking one of the GOATs. But I think his last fight did 230,000 pay-per-view buys, which, you got to remember that was towards Tyson's decline. I think it was Danny Williams. Was it Danny Williams? Can you check that? Somebody, I think it was Danny Williams, a British boxer. So, and that was after like the myth of Tyson.
Tyson came back right now and did an actual legitimate boxing match. Legit boxing match. He could probably sell 1 million pay-per-views. He's such a huge name. I think pretty easily, because the thing was like he was on the decline. It was just sort of like where he was at sort of in his career. He was like, it just wasn't the same Mike Tyson, right? It was like people are saying he shouldn't be boxing anymore. Now it's almost like Mike Tyson is like beloved. He's sort of come out of the darkness and he's like, there'd be like real intrigue. I think he'd sell 1 million pay-per-view buys, but no fucking way is him and Tito Ortiz selling 8 million pay-per-view buys. I think whoever he fights, he would probably sell 1 million pay-per-view buys.
I think there was quite a really intriguing and compelling piece of video that Tito Tyson put out recently. He was talking to somebody, he was doing an interview, and I think he started to cry. And he was saying that, and he was getting emotional and getting sad because of that. Scheiffer. Now, legends, man, thanks for having me on. Genuinely a huge honor. No, the pleasure was all ours, Scheiffer. He was fucking great. One more time, Scheiffer Bates, everybody. Give him a follow. No, Tyson was talking, and he was getting emotional because he said that animal, that visceral animal that used to get into the cage and just try and kill people, doesn't exist anymore. He said that man is dead. And, and I say he started getting a little bit emotional. So, and I feel the same way. The fighter, Michael Bisping, I've still got, I'm not that far removed from being a professional fighter. It's only been a couple of years. For Tyson, it's been a lot longer, but I kind of know what he's saying. Another potential opponent that was talked about was Wanderlei Silva. And Tyson actually gave a quote on that, and I'm not sure what that was. But they're saying that apparently Wanderlei Silva has been offered bare knuckle boxing, BKFC, offered Mike Tyson $20 million. And apparently they shut it down straight away, right? Which, number one, Tyson to be shutting down $20 million. Hey, fair play. The man's obviously doing very well. But where the fuck are bare knuckle boxing getting $20 million from? And now apparently they're going to go back with a counter offer. For me, listen, against Wanderlei Silva, it'd be great. Against Tito Ortiz, it'd be great. Would it be a spectacle? Would I want to watch? Yeah, of course. But for me personally, I don't really want to see that. If Tyson's going to come back and he's going to have a demonstration bout, which is what essentially it would be, right? It'd be a demonstration bout. He's talking about maybe a charity match or whatever it is. I'd like to see him against another old school boxer. We've already seen mixed martial arts versus MMA. Sorry, mixed martial arts versus boxing, right? Mayweather versus McGregor. It was great. It was fun. Everyone made a ton of money. It was a lot of stuff. It was a lot of fun. But we don't want to go down that path all the time. I would love to see Mike Tyson taking on an Evander Holyfield or one of these, old school boxers like that. That'd be great. I think that would capture the imagination, and that would do a lot more pay-per-view buys than, say, a Tito Ortiz or Wanderlei Silva. No disrespect to either man.
Yeah, he ended up fighting Evander again. They rematched, correct? I believe they did. For him to come back and do bare knuckle, that's just, in my opinion, especially if you don't need the money, it sort of fucks with his legacy a little bit. And it's not disrespecting bare knuckle. I understand what they're doing, and a lot of people are making comparisons to early mixed martial arts with it. Sure. I'm just saying Mike Tyson, for him to come back and sort of like, in my opinion, that would be a little bit of a sideshow. It'll look a little bit like a circus. Throw Mike Tyson, Wanderlei Silva, bare knuckles. I don't know. I think Mike Tyson, you do an exhibition, a 4-round big charity event, massive event. Even putting him up against similarly to the storyline and when Rocky came back in Rocky 6, put him up against an actual contender now and see how Mike Tyson would do against somebody in an exhibition bout with somebody who's relevant right now, a young buck.
Can't do that. You can't do that. You can't put him up there with, an Andy Ruiz or a Dillian White or any current ranked heavyweight boxer. You got to remember the man's 53. He had a very, very long, storied career. He was the baddest man on the planet for the longest time. But still, any amount of time training and competing in those level of fights, it takes its toll on his body. There's a reason why the man retired. There's a reason why towards the end of his career he was losing, right? And you can't tell me that I'm not sure when he retired. I think it was 2005. So 15 years later, sitting on the sidelines, he can't come out of retirement and fight a contender. He can do a demonstration bout, and I'd like to see that. But as you said, and I absolutely agree with what you said, Lewis, and this isn't an insult to Tito Ortiz or Wanderlei Silva, even though I do enjoy insulting Wanderlei Silva. It's not an insult to them, right? But I feel that is too cheap for Mike Tyson. Mike Tyson is boxing royalty. Okay, Mike Tyson, when you think of legendary boxers, of course, Mike Tyson is one of the names that you think of. And for him to come out and certainly in bare knuckle boxing, to fight bare knuckle boxing against an MMA fighter, right? And the only people that are going to gain in that are the MMA fighters that are going to get a massive payday, right? And they're possibly going to do it at the expense of Mike Tyson's legacy. Dana White came out this week and said, I am begging Mike Tyson not to take that fight. And I agree with Dana. Listen, a demonstration bout for fun, a little demonstration bout, as you said, 4 rounds, maybe 3, 4, 5 rounds tops, with big gloves on for fun. Obviously, they both get a nice payday. They generate some money for charity. That'd be fun. Come on. Who doesn't want to see Mike Tyson going at it again in a fun, charitable way, right? But putting him in bare knuckle boxing, where number one, you can get hurt. His opponents can get fucking hurt as well, because as we saw when Tyson was smashing the pads, he still got it, and that's the last thing to leave you. It's always the power. But to put him into bare knuckle boxing with an MMA fighter, he's better than that. Plain and simple, he is way better than that.
So do the hypotheticals here, okay? And I agree with you, and I think that if let's say he fought, how do you see him faring against Vanderlei Silva, bare knuckle boxing, and against Tito Ortiz, straight up boxing? And also, I guess Harrington did say in the chat that Tyson would be interested in doing a Holyfield third match with Holyfield as long as it raised money for charity. And that seems a lot more, on point with what we're talking about.
That's what we should see. Holyfield versus Tyson, a third fight, hypothetical, for charity, 4 or 5 rounds, as we say. A lot of people would watch. There'd be tremendous viewing figures for that. They're 2 absolute legends of the game. Yes, that's fitting for Mike Tyson. And again, it's no disrespect to Tito or Vanderlei Silva, but he shouldn't be doing that. He shouldn't tarnish his legacy by fighting certainly bare knuckle boxing against fucking Vanderlei Silva.
Well, how do you see bare knuckle boxing, Vanderlei Silva, Mike Tyson? Let's say it goes down fantasy world, which, by the way, they could make $20 million on that. Let's say they sell it for $30 a pop and they say sell a million of them. The problem is the Vanderlei side of that equation. People don't know who Vanderlei is in the general population. It's not like that's like a name that people are going to want to.
People don't know who Vanderlei is in the mixed martial arts world ever since he had that surgery. Vanderlei Silva could go up and spit in somebody's face, slap them silly and call them Susan, and they wouldn't have a fucking clue who it was. They'd be like, who is that? You resemble Vanderlei Silva, but there's something cat-like about your features that I just don't recognize.
Did you ever see the movie The Stand? It was a made-for-TV movie. It was by Stephen King. If you could find like the monster, they look like cat monsters from The Stand. I don't know exactly what they're called, Brian, but if you could pull them up at one point, this is the way I see Vanderlei Silva now. But either way, how do you see the fight going? If it did happen, bare knuckle, who do you think wins that fight?
Mike Tyson.
You think so?
Tyson? Yes, I think so. Listen, Vanderlei Silva his last time we saw him fight was against Rampage Jackson. He got knocked out, and I feel like a few fights before that he got knocked out as well. He's going to be giving up a lot of weight. Mike Tyson, he just said recently, I'm down to 230 pounds. Down to 230 pounds. So God knows what he was at his peak. Listen, the man hits fucking hard. You don't have to land with one. Right, and at 53 years old, is he old? Yeah. Is he past his prime? Yeah. Can he still fucking knock someone out with one shot? Of course he could. He's knocked out some of the best boxers in the world. He's still fucking got that. He's still one of the baddest men on the planet. And I can't see how, no disrespect to Tito or Vanderlei, that they wouldn't take that shot, especially with bare fucking knuckles.
Yeah.
To the dome.
I don't know. My only thing is,
all right, give me yours. Go on.
I think Vanderlei, it's an interesting challenge. Vanderlei has fought bare knuckle. He started off fighting Vale Tudo, fucking Brazilian crazy bare knuckle MMA. Tyson hasn't
bare knuckle
competed.
MMA. This is bare knuckle boxing.
Yeah, I know.
Different sports. Okay.
Way more basic.
Okay.
Just got to worry about these two now. That's it. I'm just saying Vanderlei has competed in high-level mixed martial arts in the past 15 years. You know what I'm saying? Like he, even though he hasn't looked great, yeah, that's the way I see Vanderlei right there.
yeah. But that's like kind of a badass image. He's coming out the flames and the fire, like he's coming from hell. No, that's not how I see him. If we had that same image, but like coming out of like an unconscious coma, right, with clouds and fluffy butterflies all over the place, that's how I see Vanderlei Silva.
But yeah, I think that Vanderlei would really pose some interesting problems for Mike Tyson.
Who cares? It's not going to happen. I refuse to talk about this anymore. It's not going to happen. Him versus Holyfield, yes. You sign me up, baby. I take my money. Whatever cliches they use out there, okay? But no, I don't want to see him versus a retired MMA fighter. I don't want to see it. I want to see him versus another boxer, if we're even going to see it. But there you go. There is that. Henry Cejudo has been removed. Changing subject. See what I did there? Henry Cejudo has been removed from the UFC rankings. Of course, he was the champion, just beat Dominic Cruz. And after that, he retired. And that left the door open. Was he actually retired? Is he trying to negotiate for more money? Well, looks like the UFC have called his bluff because they have removed him from the rankings. At the end of the day, Lewis, you play these games, these are the consequences.
Yeah. I mean, it's simply, devil's advocate here. It's simply another guy that runs the website that just puts his name right back on. It's not like a real.
Yeah.
They're not going to climb a mountain to fucking remove him from the rankings. It's simply delete. Oh, he's back.
Yeah, well, the rankings aren't even run by the UFC anyway, to be fair. The rankings are run by a team of journalists that all contribute. Because I was talking to Mick Maynard recently, and he was I don't want to say too much. He was expressing a little frustration with some of the rankings. He wasn't talking shit or anything, but, everybody has opinions. And he said, listen, the rankings are nothing to do with us. The rankings are done by journalists. But if Cejudo's retired, so even still, that does contradict what I just said, the UFC are calling his bluff. It's not the UFC that have removed him from the rankings. But if you go out there and you say to the media, you say to the world, listen, I'm retired, well, then you're fucking retired and you do get removed from the rankings.
Well, I'm assuming the UFC probably has something to do with like sort of that they say, hey, these are the guys that can or cannot be ranked because they have to be on roster, right?
No. Honestly, I think the UFC have nothing whatsoever to do with the ranking. It's a team of journalists and media members that, they have to, I don't know, once a month, once a week, whatever it is, they put in their votes. And that's how that list is compiled. I don't think the UFC have any influence in it whatsoever.
This is from Henry Cejudo's Twitter today. Thank you for the awesome experiences, Uncle, at Dana White. I will forever be grateful. Thank you for taking a chance on the sport that people thought would never make it. To all of my coaches and fans, it's been a wonderful ride. Triple C is out. # retired on top.
Good.
I would believe it all if the last thing he said publicly before that was, we'll see if Dana can come with some money. So it's like, okay. I mean, it's not real.
But that does massively undermine everything he says. Because I was going to say, what you just said there sounds great. And it is nice to see somebody retire on top, to walk away as champion, to be an Olympic gold medalist, to come to the UFC, to become the 125-pound champion, then become the 135-pound champion, take out TJ, take out rising contender Marlon Moraes, and then take out a perennial legend, one of the best to ever do it at that weight class in Dominic Cruz, and then say, you know what? To steal a line from Conor McGregor, thanks for the cheese, I'm out, and walk away from the sport. That's fairy tale stuff. That's exactly how it should be done. In a dream scenario for a combat sports athlete, it doesn't get any better than that. But as you said, that one, what was it, a tweet?
Yeah, it was a tweet. No. That's what he said. That's what he said in his last interview right after the fight.
Well, then he's not retired, is he? He said if the UFC can come back with the right amount of money, then we'll see. So, yeah, okay, he's playing hardball. And you don't do with the UFC. At the end of the day, you got to understand it from the UFC's perspective. So and again, we're assuming all of this based on tweets. So if I'm speaking out of turn, anybody, I apologize. But based off these tweets, it looks like Henry Cejudo's trying to, play hardball and get more cash. And it looks like UFC is saying, fuck you, and we're not playing that game, and you're retired. Great, you're retired. And to be honest, that is the stance that they have to take, because they have upwards, I think, of 500 fighters on the roster. And they can't be blackmailed is a strong word, but they can't be, driven into a corner and be seen to, what's the word I'm looking for? Succumbing to such, demands and just saying, I'm retired. And then the UFC go, okay, all right, we'll give you an extra $1 million. They can't play that game in private and they can't play it in public, because otherwise everyone else on the roster is going to start doing it. And they're going to find that a lot of people are going to stay retired because UFC will tell them to fuck off, right? Because the guys who are on the prelims, they'll take him or leave him.
Well, people say that about Conor McGregor. Like, well, Conor McGregor can't do this because then everyone's going to try to do this. And then Conor McGregor does it. And then guys like Henry Cejudo try to follow suit. And then they go, go fuck yourself, Henry Cejudo. You don't sell any pay-per-views. I'm not being an asshole here, but it's not like Henry Cejudo is this massive name that everyone's clamoring to see. That is the issue, is like Henry's right, whereas his talent doesn't match his star yet. You know what I'm saying? Or I should say his star doesn't match his talent yet. And in my opinion, he's sort of on his way up right now. And he's in a position now where he's just starting to make headlines. He's just starting to get people to go like, oh shit, I'm pumped for the next Henry Cejudo fight. And then it's just a little premature. I feel like he took the Henry Cejudo cake out of the oven a little bit early.
I don't know because from what I hear, he does draw. He is definitely a draw. And if you look at him and stylistically, a lot of people at 125 and 35, they're not finishers. He's finished everybody. Didn't finish Demetrius Johnson, but finished TJ, finished Cruz, finished Moraes. You know what I mean? So he is a finisher, and that does sell. Right? Anytime somebody can finish a fight, people want to see fights. People, that captures the imagination of the public, to watch somebody go out there against another world-class fighter and put them to sleep or force them to tap, whatever it is. That's what people want to see. They don't want to see lackluster, boring decisions where people take somebody down and lie on them and grind them out for 25 minutes. They want to see finishes. They want to see dynamic finishes. And Henry Cejudo does that. And by all accounts, he is a draw, right? But he's nowhere near the star or the draw that Conor McGregor is. Nobody is. And to your point, McGregor can pull those kind of moves, and maybe he gets to the negotiating table and he gets his own way to a certain degree. Cejudo doesn't have that kind of pull. And I'll go out on a limb and say that. If I'm wrong, I apologize, but I don't think that's the case.
No, not at all. I mean, I'd like to see the numbers. I would like to look at the numbers that Henry Cejudo draws compared to some of the other UFC champions. It's not even a knock on him. It's the smaller champions just in general. That's always sort of been an issue. And Henry's the one guy who I feel like is starting to get some real eyes down on that division. And people are like, holy shit. Finally, this is actually an interview he did with the Fight Network. This is interesting because we did talk about this a few weeks ago, right after he won that fight. Honestly, if there's one fight that would really wake me up, that would be worth it for me to be like, hey, man, I'm willing to put my credentials on the line for somebody. It would be fighting Alexander Volkanovski at 145 pounds. Then I'd be C4. And I think that's sort of what he's holding out for. And I think, to be honest with you, he does that. Look, Henry Cejudo goes up and is the first 3-division champion ever. It's history making. And to be honest with you, that's really, I mean, to go up to 145 where he's really undersized for 145, that would be fucking crazy. And then I think he has a case because now he's the champion of Conor's old division. It's a whole new world.
Are we entering the GOAT conversation once again? Get Scheiffer Bates back on the phone. Get Conor back. We need to talk to him. Let's get him on the phone. Anyway.
There will be no GOAT conversation on today's show.
The only GOAT we are serving is curried goat. Have you ever had curried goat, Lewis? It's fucking delicious.
Really quick, guys, if you love the show and you want to support us, you can go to our iTunes page right now. Leave us a 5-star ranking, positive review. Subscribe to us on YouTube. Just search Michael Bisping Podcast or Believe You Me Podcast on YouTube. And if you guys want to start from the beginning and get every episode of the Believe You Me podcast from the beginning, the entire on-demand library, plus pre-release, uncensored, and ad-free episodes, just go to gasdigitalnetwork.com, use the promo code BYM, and get a 14-day free trial. You get access to every show we've ever done, plus all the other amazing shows on Gas Digital.
All right, Lewis, here's a topic that I do want to talk about. Point 5 on Harrington's meticulously gathered notes, which, once again, Harrington, good job, my friend, well done. But still, this is a classic, right? Mike Perry is awesome. Number one, the man's an animal inside the octagon, and he is a fucking character out and about on Instagram, in person. He's the best. He's the man. He's the gift that keeps on giving. But Harrington, what is Mike? Why is Mike Perry in the news today? And you're on mute. And of course. No, it's okay. No, we're going to pull the curtain back. So we just had a little break there. I went for a pee. Lewis went for a pee. We came back and we told him, we preempted. We said, listen, I'm going to tee it up. Then I'm going to come to you, Harrington, and I want you to give us the Mike Perry story. And you couldn't even get it right. What is going on?
A big Mike Perry is clearly messing with the Zoom systems here. That's all I can think of. So to give you an idea with number 5 there, Mike Perry went and did an interview with MMA Junkie. Seems like he's gearing up. He's pretty excited about these Fight Island talks. But he has an interesting take on how he's going to approach his training camps from now on. According to Perry, I'm not listening to any coaches right now. Coaches who are saying things that they ain't going to go in there and do. They want it to be this way or this way, and it's totally different way. I need a guy like me to hold mitts. I want to hold mitts for myself, to be honest. I could show people a couple techniques or whatever. I'm ready to fight for my life. So they did follow up with Perry a little bit. He was basically saying, all I need is somebody to hand me a water bottle. It's not even going to last 5 minutes. Put some ice on my neck, hand me a water bottle, get me right back out there. So when
it's a lot of, I mean, he knows what we want to talk about, and the amount of time that Harrington has gotten is taking to get to the point that we want to talk about. All the other things in this interview he's listed so far, none of it matters.
But this is his moment. This is his moment. You're right, Lewis. I mean, if ever there was a man that is milking the situation, first of all, he's late. Secondly, there's no audio. Thirdly, I don't know. The delivery. He's just like
wimpy. Put
less effort into the fedora and the appearance, because here's the thing, right? Harrington is coming across like he just, this is what he looks like. But we know you're trying on multiple outfits prior to coming on the show. You're like, I'm going to team the fedora with the check shirt, or plaid, as you Americans call it for some weird reasons. But still, carry on. Back to the point. Mike Perry, get to the fucking point, Harrington. What is he doing?
So when they asked him who was going to be the person handing him that water bottle or handing him that ice, he simply said, my girlfriend. Just her, if not her, and her friend.
So to summarize, Mike Perry's using his girlfriend as cornerman from now on, and he's out of his mind. Thank you, Harrington. We're just busting your balls as usual. People love Harrington. They do. They love you, Harrington. And we're just, it's a bit of playful teasing. So Mike Perry's saying that he's sick of all the coaches saying, do this, do that, do the other, when they don't even step in there and fight themselves. So fuck that. I'm going to use my new girlfriend. I don't know how long he's been with her, but that's what he's going to use as cornerman.
Well, he had the old girlfriend there was his Instagram where he used to just have her in his corner and they'd train together and he'd just be punching her in the stomach. It was hilarious. It was great. And they seemed like true love. It was like, they say relationship goals. That's the way that I felt about Mike Perry and his old girlfriend.
The Platinum Princess.
One day, I'm sorry?
The Platinum Princess.
Yeah, Platinum Princess.
That's what she was known as, yeah.
So one day, there's just some new hot Puerto Rican chick out of nowhere. Just some and she's now his cornerman.
Yeah, but hold on. We're not here to discuss his love life. Come on, let's be fair, right? We don't know what's going on behind the scenes. That's not for us to comment about.
He's my fucking idol. I'm not hating.
I wasn't saying you were hating, but still, we're not here to comment and discuss his love life. I mean, that's his private business, okay? If he wants to trade in the Platinum Princess for a newer version with lower mileage and better bodywork, then fair play. Good for him. Go for it. Knock yourself out, Mike Perry. Well, that's what he's done. He's gone to the car. He's gone to the dealership. He's like, I'm done with this one. Give me a younger model. Yeah. This one's got lower mileage, better bodywork, and hasn't been round the block as many times. So I don't know. I'm joking, but the cornerman thing, because he did used to have his wife in the corner, and I used to think that was awesome. I remember I commentated a fight of his down in Brazil, and he came out and he was dancing with her, dancing his way in, and he gave her a big kiss. And I was commentating, oh my God, Mike Perry is fucking awesome. It's when he fought Vicente Luque and he got his nose smashed to pieces. And listen, he's great. He's one of the most entertaining guys in the UFC. But to be having your new girlfriend as your cornerman in a high pressure fight situation, I understand what he's saying. Some cornermen do talk about, and give advice what to do when they've never stepped in there. But that said, they do generally surround themselves in the fight game. They do spend a lot of time in gyms. They study fights. They watch UFCs. They've maybe had 10, 20, 30 fighters on their roster. They are familiar with the fight game. I'm not talking shit about his new girlfriend. I've only seen what I've seen the pictures on Instagram. But is she a boxing genius? Is she a BJJ black belt? I'm going to go out on a limb and say she doesn't have the best advice to give after a man just smashed his nose across his face. And it's like, what do I do? What do I do? I feel like she won't give the best advice.
Yeah, she's very beautiful. Look at her. She looks like she knows so much about fighting. What are you talking about, Bisping? She looks like she's got all the fight knowledge in the world.
Hey, fair play. Whatever makes you happy. Whatever makes you happy in this day and age.
I'm assuming, here's the thing. Here's what Mike Perry does. There's no way he really means that. And he knows it's just going to get people talking. There's no way if Mike Perry, if the next time he goes into a UFC fight and in his corner, it's his smoking hot girlfriend and one of her hot friends, and they're both just giving him water and towels, I'll eat my words and I will have a newfound level of respect for Mike Perry.
Yeah, well, listen, I don't know. Maybe he's just trying to not trying to get headlines. He's just trolling everybody. He is. I think you're right. And we'll see. I don't know, because he did used to have his wife in his corner. It would be hilarious to have her in there. And, to be honest, I mean, I understand what Mike's saying, because he trains with some good guys. He trains down there. What's he called now? I forget the name of the gym. X something. Anyway, he changed with Jacare, changed with some very, very high-level jiu-jitsu guys. So he's doing that type of thing. So he's getting his jiu-jitsu there, right? And he's a brawler. He's a fighter. He's a fighter's fighter, right? And to a certain degree, you always want to get better as a fighter. You always want to be evolving. You always want to be improving your skill set. But also, at the end of the day, you have certain elements that make you who you are. And what makes Mike Perry is the fact that he's fearless. The fact is that he'll stand and trade with anybody. The fact that he is a tremendously skilled athlete as well, but he's a fighter's fighter. Do you know what I mean? And that is an intangible that can't be taught. That's who he is. It's just the way he was born. That's who he is in his DNA. So I kind of understand his point to a certain degree, that he'll just have his girlfriend in there and he'll go out there and have a fight. And regardless of what the fuck happens, he's going to go and enjoy himself. And that's that. So I kind of get it to a certain degree.
She's 22. she should not be allowed even in the building when he fights.
She can only just drink alcohol. Do you know what I mean? Only just legal. I'll tell you what I want to talk about. Harrington, Please tell me you've got some info on this, because I don't know what's going on with Mike Perry and Darren Till. But Darren Till and Mike Perry, I thought they were kind of friendly. Remember, there was that epic back and forth where Mike Perry came up to Darren Till and said, do you want to go to the spa? And he said, do you want to spar? And he's like, oh, yeah, we'll go to the spa. He's like, well, you want to go get a massage and fucking steam and all that shit? And Mike Perry's like, no, do you want to spar? And it might have been the other way around. Maybe Darren Till said it to Mike Perry, but there was that confusion, right? And it seemed like they were buddies. But now, Darren Till and Mike Perry, they're not on very good terms. In fact, I think Darren Till said, I'm going to knock you out and then fuck your new girlfriend or something like that. What did he say, Harrington?
Well, he said on Instagram, why don't me and this fat cunt just fight on Fight Island and settle our differences? He's only a fat mess, and when I smash his jaw clean off, I'm going to raw dog his bird. Fucking Muppet.
Oh, fucking hell, Darren. That's a good one. I'm going to raw dog his bird, you fucking Muppet. Oh, my God.
Yeah.
What do you think of that?
Is
that legit? Is that serious or what?
It might be. I mean, I think, when you go there, you are trying to, what you're trying to do there is you're trying to cross a line. Darren Till's trying to let everyone know, like, no, I'm really fucking serious. I've crossed the line here. Now come and fight me. Because if somebody says some shit about your chick, now it's like, she's 22. So, she's like, come on, Mike. He's talking about me. What are you going to do? And he's like, fuck, goddamn, I can go fight Darren Till. He's 185 pounds. Fuck my life.
Yeah, but he's got to do it because that's who he is to this new chick. I don't know. I'm sorry, Mike. We're talking about your relationship like we know you both. We don't. We're just spitballing here. We're just fun on a podcast, so we apologize. Mind games. But listen, but you're right. 22-year-old chick. Mike's the UFC fighter, right? He's the badass. He's fucking this Mike Perry. Don't fuck with us. And he's like, oh, now he's going to be that guy. He's going to perpetuate that myth. He's going to live up to that stereotype and go fucking have a fight against someone that maybe doesn't want to. Saying that and knowing Mike Perry, he'll fight anyone anyway. So I don't think he's too concerned.
He's a 155 pounder, right?
No, he's 170.
Okay, I'm sorry. I think it was 155. Okay,
yeah,
that makes sense then.
Perry's 170. He's a decent size. He's not a small guy. So it's not like, and Till used to be 170 as well. So that's a good fight. I'd like to see that. That said, Darren Till's got his designs on fighting Adesanya pretty soon on Fight Island or someone big, a big name like that. So that might be a step backwards in terms of profile, in terms of getting the belt.
Especially considering he's at 185 pounds. So to fight Mike Perry, who is not necessarily even a step in line toward the belt at 170, where he's sort of right there at 185. He already did the 170-pound dance. I think that Darren Till, where it's great to talk shit and they might not really like each other, if I'm Darren Till's team, I'm like, Darren, shut the fuck up. Stop talking shit to Mike Perry on Twitter. Talk shit to Israel Adesanya. Talk shit to guys that are, in that trajectory.
Yeah, but I think that's just a conversation that they know that fight's never going to happen. I mean, as you just said, as we said, he's left the weight class. He's not a part of that weight class anymore. So he can just talk shit. The fight's never going to get made. He's like, listen, I'll talk shit, whatever, but I'm not going to actually sign a contract to fight you. I've got bigger fish to fry. But you're right. I mean, listen, that is definitely words. If I know Mike Perry like I think I know Mike Perry, there are words that will start a fight, that will be the catalyst for an out of octagon fight. You know what I mean? Anytime somebody says that, if somebody said they were going to fucking beat me in a fight, what did they say? Break his jaw, snap his jaw clean off, and then raw dog my bird, right? I'd.
He's not even going to use a condom, Bisping.
I mean, that would be one thing. At least there'd be a bit of respect there. You know what I mean? Bit. But a little bit. It wouldn't
be good shit talking. It's like, Bisping, I'm going to beat your ass and then I'm going to have protected
I'm going to practice safe sex on your girlfriend. It doesn't have the same intent. But yeah, listen, I don't know. Mike Perry, maybe they're mates and they're having a laugh. But if that is serious, yeah, I mean, fair play, Darren. I like your style. That is epic shit talk. How long we've been going?
We're good. We got a little bit of time left too because you have an interview you did. Why don't we go to that and we'll wrap up this show?
Yeah, that's right. Okay, well, listen. So the Schmo. I know you're not familiar with the Schmo, but I do wonder, Lewis, did you steal his look? The Schmo has been rocking the yellow glasses for a long time. Okay, the Schmo has rocked the glasses. That's what he does. And I feel like you watched him, you liked what you saw, and you stole the look.
I've never seen or heard of this man. And to be honest with you, how do I know that he hasn't stolen my look?
You're telling me in all you're looking naive now. In all the hours that you spend consuming mixed martial arts content, all the research that you do for this show, you've never stumbled across the Schmo?
Never, no.
No, okay, all right, fair enough. If you've never stumbled across, you've never stumbled across. No, he's like an MMA journalist, and he's got a little. What's the word I'm looking for? He's got a niche, he puts on a voice and whatnot. And we speak to him. He's actually a very intelligent man. I was in the gym with him last Friday or last week in Jacksonville, and I was working out. And there was a dude, you know what hotel gyms are like? They're very, very small, and there's not much equipment. But they had a cable machine. A lot of different exercises you can do on a cable machine. But this fucking guy was on there for ages. And I'm like, I did this, I did that. I did about 4 different exercises, 3 sets. And I'm like, this motherfucker's still on the cable machine. And I was this close to walking over and saying, excuse me, do you not think you've hogged that machine for long enough? Do you not think, it's proper etiquette to share? And then Perillo came in to say hi to me. I said, hey, Schmo, what's up? I'm like, oh, fuck, it's the Schmo. As we went up and had a chat. But anyway, he was in San Diego last week, and he said, I'm going to swing by and do a little interview with you if you don't mind. I said, okay, you can do an interview with me, but we'll get a little segment on the podcast. So he's a great guy. He came by the house. Thank you for tuning into the show. Thank you to Scheiffer Bates. Give him a follow on Instagram. Very, very funny man. And check out the Schmo here, who actually talks a little bit of shit about Ariel Helwani, a little bit of beef brewing here, potential matchup. Talking of charity fights, the Schmo is trying to set up a charity match with $50,000 at stake. And apparently Ariel Helwani does not want that smoke. Thanks for listening to the show.
No. That's smoke.
Oh, the smoke. Smoky baby. Smoke and a pancake. Without further ado, here's the Schmo, and we'll see you next week. All right, I'm here with the Schmo. We've got 1 microphone, so we're going to have to lean in, Schmo, okay? Welcome to my house. I was led here by the pool, enjoying myself, and I get a knock on the door. It's Helen. She's a very pretty lady. She's behind the camera here. And the Schmo. Schmo, what are you doing here at my house?
It's hot outside. The Schmo's looking for a dip. We know you got a waterfall. Why not enjoy it? You're retired. Not as scary as you used to be, but you're still pretty scary, so I figured we can enjoy the pool with you.
Hey, you are welcome at my house anytime, my friend. So listen, Schmo, you've been covering the sport for a while now as this character, as the Schmo. What has been the highlight so far? Who's the best fighter, other than me, of course, but who's like the most interesting fighter you've spoke to?
You're putting the Schmo on the spot there.
But that's what you do to me. He asked me before, he said, John Jones, he's trying to fight Ngannou, but the UFC are refusing to pay more money. What do you make of that, Mike? That is putting me on the spot.
I agree.
101. I'm like, there's no right answer to that.
That's true. All right. So off the whim, off the cusp, you put in the Schmo on the spot. It's always the guys that make the Schmo do the most interesting things. A few months ago, the Schmo was interviewing Yoel Romero at Radio Row for the Super Bowl. He's getting ready for his big title fight. Israel Adesanya. How many chances does this guy get a title fight, Yoel Romero? That's a lot of fun.
That's a different conversation.
It's a different conversation. He breaks out doing salsa dances with the Schmo. So then the Schmo's on the spot, challenging the dancing skills.
Can you do a little salsa for us right now, Schmo?
Maybe
come on.
Shoulder shimmy.
Give us a little bit of something. Come on. What you got? Whoa. Easy. Don't give up your day job.
All right.
So how long have you been doing this character?
Schmo's been going strong since 2016. In MMA, we've been really strong since 2018.
What is this?
It's like a tight grip. You know what it's like. You know when they're around your neck? Yeah.
Who's been the biggest dick in terms of fighters? Who hasn't played along? Who hasn't played along to the character?
Well, you're gonna like this the most. Probably Luke Rockwood.
Really?
Yes.
Why?
Because I feel like, Luke's very thoughtful in his answers, right? He's not someone where you just put him on the cusp, put him on the spot, he delivers right then. He likes to take his time methodically before he answers right away.
He likes to think it through and give a really intelligent answer. He conceives. He believes.
Yes.
He achieves.
Something of that nature. Yeah, so I don't think him and I gelled really that much.
That's a shame. He's a great guy. I love that guy. Schmo.
Yes.
No more Schmo. Let's kill the Schmo.
You want to kill the Schmo?
Take the glasses off.
All right, they're coming off. Just for you, because I see your co-host.
Well, hold on. Let me stay as the Schmo.
All right.
What happens in the bedroom? I mean, listen, I'm seeing Helen now, but I'm like, do you Schmo it up in the bedroom? This is the hard-hitting questions that we want to know, and believe you me. Listen, we want to hear about you, talking to the fighters and all that stuff. That's all well and good. But, Schmo, you go into the bathroom, you strip off. You coming out naked, glasses on, glasses off.
Special occasions, very, very special occasions.
Bow tie.
Schmo tie.
Schmo tie.
I don't think any female can last on this earth with too much schmo 24/7, 100%. The schmo can't even take that much schmo for that long.
Yeah, I'm just seeing you walking in. You got the glasses, you got the schmo tie, and the waistcoat. It's a good look.
Hey, gray on gray today for you.
Love it.
So in terms of your question, in our guest bedroom, we have a schmo poster, which back in the day we used to get the athletes to sign, get their John Hancock. So in the schmo room, schmoes only.
Schmo zone in
the schmo room. But in the bedroom, I just got to be myself.
Okay.
David. Yeah.
All right. Well, let's speak to David.
All right. Okay.
Do you get nervous as David?
Yeah, you know what? I got to switch it up a little bit. So now I'm myself. Yeah.
So I've known you now. I mean, through doing this type of stuff for a couple of years. And so how did this all start? I mean, because it's a very unique take, and I think it does get a lot of attention. I think you're doing the right thing. I think it's very smart. But how did this all come about?
Yeah, I think it starts with this: if you're not first, be different. And I tried for so long since I graduated in college in 2012, traditional broadcasting background, to try to break into a small market. No one really gave me a chance. So for years, I grinded. I went to California, worked in sports production. I picked up some degrees in personal training just to make money so I can work for free and to break it into this industry. But basically, nobody gave me a chance. So I just was like, what can I do to be different? I started writing articles, becoming friends with journalists just to make my way through there. And why did I create the character? Because I just think journalism and sports media in this digital age we live in needs change. And kids want to see the personalities out of professional athletes. So I created this gimmick, this character, to really showcase the personalities of the professional athletes that I interview and just get a unique way to break the guard down, break the walls down, and get a different way of content.
Yeah, well, that's interesting. I'm just going to slide this back and forth the whole time. Very rudimentary setup here. Normally it's Gas Digital. Brian and Harrington, they do all the heavy lifting, of course, but I'm a knucklehead, so we'll just slide the thing back and forth. But as you say, you do need a character. You do need it. Well, not necessarily a character, but a way to stand out, because there is a lot of people out there. And as you said, I feel when you come up as the schmo, right? Obviously, I was talking to you in the gym last week. You're a very intelligent man, right? But you put on this, this act, right? You become the schmo, and I feel that it does bring down the defenses, of the fighter. They can relax a little bit more. Do you find that?
100%. And we brought it up too before. A guy like Colby Covington, he was undefeated in the UFC, and he wasn't getting the matches or the traction he wanted. And then all of a sudden, in Brazil, he made that loud statement. Yep. I don't want to say go about it the Colby Covington way,
sure, but
he started being loud. He started to create the character, America, Trump. And he got some traction behind his name. And it was mostly, I don't want to say it was because of what he did, but he did something different. He did something unique. And I find the character, to answer your initial question, is the best way to break the guard down, because look, you guys get the same types of questions all the time. It could be grueling, especially if you're cutting weight in a media day. You know what kind of questions you're getting. What happens if I come at you, throw something off kilter, put a little smile on your face, ease the tension, because what you're doing takes total focus. And if I could stray you away from that for 90 seconds to 3 minutes, I'm doing my job.
Well, it's originality as well. You're doing something different. I mean, as you said, you got to set yourself out. You got to separate yourself from the rest of the group. I mean, no disrespect. There's a lot of tremendous journalists out there that cover the sport. A lot of shit ones as well, let's be honest. But you do stand out. I mean, obviously you come from a comedy angle. You come here, you dress like this. I mean, where do you get the clothes from? Because last week, you don't know this, he had a jacket on with his own face emblazoned all over the jacket. I mean, that's a lot of effort.
Hey, but that came from a great UK company. They sent it to me. They reached out to me on Instagram. Team Blazers UK. They took my logo.
Where's
they
mine?
shipped it.
Team Blazers UK. What the fuck?
I'll put you in touch with them. They would love to work with someone like you, man. But I'm just so blessed because they see this stuff standing out. I find these clothes from all over the place. I reach out to people. You have to hustle, as you know.
Sure.
If you want anything in life, you can't expect someone to give it to you. You got to go out there and you got to take it. So I reach out to so many different people, find different brands to collaborate with, and just make it happen.
So obviously you cover mixed martial arts. I've seen you cover the boxing as well. You covered the big Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury 2 fights. What has been the highlight of your career so far, so to speak? I mean, that fight was pretty big. That's one of the biggest events in recent combat sports history. But what is, as I said, the highlight of your career so far?
Well, I would say from the MMA perspective and Dana's reaction, probably the 165-pound weight division question at the seasonal conference at UFC 236 in Atlanta last April, so a little over a year ago. That was amazing because that's when I think the world stage, the MMA community kind of saw what I was doing. Like, really, the fighters, the people who knew who I was the journalists that were there and the fighters that I've been blessed enough to interview in person for a media day or go to their gyms to work with. But that was the first time the MMA community really as a whole could kind of see what I do on a grand scale. That was very rewarding. I was with Adam Vinatieri, the future Hall of Fame football kicker for the Indianapolis Colts. He set a Guinness World Record for most amount of field goals kicked in 25 yards. I was a part of that. They made me a custom Schmo football jersey, and I was with him. I was kicking field goals with him. I was a part of that process. That was rewarding. Bill Walton, the legendary Hall of Fame basketball player.
Bill Walton.
That guy's got an amazing voice.
Who's Bill Walton?
Bill Walton?
I've never heard of Bill Walton. You're speaking to an Englishman that doesn't follow sports.
That's true.
You know what I'm saying?
That's true.
It's my ignorance. It's not your ignorance.
It's totally okay.
Totally my ignorance.
He's a basketball legend. A UCLA.
An announcer or a
He's
player?
an announcer now. Both a player. He's a Hall of Fame player in college and in the pros and as an announcer. Bill Walton, 7 feet tall, huge hippie guy. He says the most outlandish stuff. He's funny. But I would say those two, and then in the MMA world, man, now we've just been a part of amazing stuff. 229 was amazing too when Khabib jumped the fence after beating Conor McGregor.
That was awesome. All right, so listen, you journalists, you're always putting us on the spot. You're always asking the hard questions.
Yeah.
You're always trying to put us against other fighters, right? And trying to get the clickbaits and the hits and all the shit. So I'm going to do the same thing to you, but with other journalists. There's just and I don't know how I'm going to structure this right now. I could do like a fuck, marry, kill type thing, but I don't like that expression. It's terrible. Give me the best and worst thing about Ariel Helwani.
Do you know the history of the Schmo?
I have no idea of you and Helwani, but what is the best and worst thing about Ariel Helwani?
Back in October, I called out Ariel Helwani to
you know it's a big deal these days. He's doing a lot of training, he's doing a lot of boxing, he's doing a lot of fighting.
I challenged
Helwani is a beast.
I challenged him to a 165-pound charity grappling competition in October. $25,000 I will raise on my end, and he can match it for charity. And he's vehemently not said shit. He has not said a word.
He's denying $50,000 to starving children across the world.
Exactly.
He is denying 50,000 people to battered housewives.
Yes, and we're not talking about punching each other in the face. This is charity grappling, Mike.
He's denying $50,000 to cancer victims.
Yes.
Wow.
100%.
What do you have to say about this? Okay, best thing.
So here's the thing. So obviously he stands out. Obviously when you think of MMA journalists, he's the number one guy. The Schmo's gunning for that. The Schmo's not here to take part.
He's the guy.
We're here to take Schmo.
We are mere mortals, okay? We cannot reach the lofty perches that Helwani has reached. He's sitting up there with the gods, okay? We can one day pray to be like this man.
Exactly. So here's ESPN. Here's the ESPN world, and here's the Schmo. This is one guy doing 6 to 7 different hats, and the beautiful girlfriend, Helen Esports. Both Team Helen and Team Schmo combined. This is us against ESPN. It's us against everybody. So here's the thing, Mike, and you'll appreciate this. If you're going to talk shit, if you're going to say so much crap about the fighters, you got to be able to handle the heat yourself. So why not, if we're going to talk negatively about the sport...
Ariel, I love Ariel. This is you going off on a tangent. This has nothing to do with me, Ariel.
I love it too. But you spend all that time creating controversy and talking negatively of fighters. Well, guess what? Why don't we put the money where the mouth is, and why don't we do it as journalists? I'm not trying to sit here and challenge another fight. I'm not trying to challenge Michael Bisping charity grappling competition. Right. We don't want him to lose. No, I'm just kidding. We don't want the Schmo to die, all right? But Ariel Helwani or these other journalists, but he's the cream of the crop. We want to challenge him. Why not do something for the fans?
$25,000 from your side. You will raise that independently.
Yes, I will figure it out.
Helwani has to raise his 25, or you will take care of that as well.
ESPN's got him for that. They'll figure out $25,000.
So $50,000 to
$50,000 to charity.
$25,000 to his charity of choice.
Yes.
$25,000 to your charity of choice.
Winner gets
the Michael Bisping Foundation. Okay, great, excellent cause. I love it. Luke Thomas. Opinions on Luke Thomas. Best and worst thing. Let's go.
Well, I have nothing bad to say about Luke Thomas.
Oh, Jesus Christ, Schmo. That's no interview. All right, the best thing. That's a good thing. What's the
best thing is this guy is literally sitting in front of a screen for an hour plus, and he's got thousands of people tuning in. So clearly he's got something good to say for people to listen to.
Mundo.
And he doesn't have ESPN pushing him out. I think he's got something with Showtime and working with other people. But look, there's so many people from my outside perspective looking in, because I don't study these guys or watch. I just know Ariel Helwani's the biggest name there, right? But when it comes to Luke Thomas, there's people that actually tune in and fighters go on the sport. I know there's some controversy there. He says some negative things about Dana White and coming in here and there, but he still has so many different people tuning into his show. For those reasons, I just got to give him my respect.
But there's no negatives.
I don't
This
have
is the best. The game is called Best and Worst. The best is he's a great journalist and he does a fantastic. There's a lot of people that want it. What's the worst thing, Schmo? I don't want to throw you out my house violently, physically. I don't want to grab you by the scruff of the neck and put you through the window. But if you don't complete this game and give the worst thing about Luke Thomas.
I got it right here.
Let's go.
Criticizing a fighter when you have not stepped in the cage and done what that fighter's done on that level.
Okay, that's good. Final. I should go with a female here, but I won't go with you. You know, you can't be old male chauvinistic pigs here. But Brett Okamoto. Love Brett. Great guy. Best and worst things.
Safety. I think that's the best and the worst thing. You know what you're going to get.
Give me a female. I need to ask a woman. Laura Sanko. Best and worst about Laura Sanko. Megan O'Leary. There you go. One of those two. I don't know what I'm doing. I'm not an interviewer. I sit here and I talk shit on a podcast, Schmo. Okay?
Yeah.
You've got to take over. You're the professional.
Yeah, I got you.
All right. Ask me a question.
I ask. Well, first,
how has this turned that you're now interviewing me?
I'm not interviewing you. You told me to talk crap about everybody, and the only person
I don't want you to talk shit about anybody. This is all you're doing, Schmo. I preempted. I said, please, we don't like negativity in the Bisping household, and believe you me, we don't like to talk shit. So please keep it positive. But you just came out the gate spitting hot fire, insults all over the board. What is wrong with you, Schmo?
Insult? Who am I insulting?
There's the Schmo. He's coming out. All right, David, you're the man.
You're the man.
Pleasure, buddy. Nice talking to you.
Thank you.
Cheers, buddy. Check him out on
The Schmo 312. But most importantly, that's my social handle. Check out the Schmo Zone podcast. It's all over the Schmo Zone. Helen Yee, my girlfriend, is my co-host. Follow her too. Helen Yee Sports. Follow the Schmo 312. Follow the Schmo Zone. And there you go.
Boom. Heard it there. David, you're the man.
Thanks,
you.
buddy.
Sweet. Right? That was fun.